Hello and welcome to the Comic-spiracy episode 440 for the week of February 11th. My name is Ryan Higgins. I'm here with my flock, and we're going to be talking some Birds of Prey tonight.
Jesus Christ.
Who's here with me this week?
Brock Sager.
Kevin, and I'll pause now and leave it so we can edit another name in.
That's
like we would do any editing whatsoever. And Charlie.
There you go. Now, Toby was very excited to be on this week, so naturally, he's not here yet.
And we're getting Scott at
what
some
time
point.
is it? Do we got an hour and a half in us? Scott will be here by the time we're doing questions.
Are you talking about it? Do we have an hour and a half total in us, or an hour and a half before they get here in us?
Scott will be here in about an hour and a half. That's like, I mean, Scott late is like Scott late.
I'm going to say he's 45 minutes in.
Okay.
I'll take a leap of faith on this.
Toby, half an hour, 15. I mean, he could roll in like right now. Like he knows the time. So
I will say Toby here before Scott.
Okay,
and now you've got this recorded.
Okay,
so
that's usually how it goes.
See how these predictions
go.
go.
We'll see. We'll see.
There's another T-shirt.
We'll see what happens with if the other boys I get here to talk about Birds of Prey. But that is going to be a big bulk of this conversation this week. If you have not seen Birds of Prey, you may want to not listen to this podcast, unless you don't care, in which case...
Not listen to this episode of the podcast.
Yes, listen, because we're going to... Full spoilers. So you've been warned, and we may hit up some other topics. There's a few things to talk about at the end. Other things have been going around. Depends on how long this conversation goes. So some of our movie episodes go kind of long. We'll see what happens this time.
Some of our movie episodes go kind of long.
That's what I said.
We normally try and match the time of the movie.
We don't try.
We don't try. Yeah, it just happens. So
Try is really not an operational word in this setting.
You know.
Oh, I gotta get the old random number generator.
Oh,
Who
Jesus Christ.
starts first?
Charlie, can you go first?
Nope.
I just can't wait till the random number says Toby.
Toby's not here. 1, 2, 3. Oh, choose Brock.
Oh, I gotta go first?
1, 2, 3, 4.
That's
Brock.
He did it on purpose.
No, 1 through 4.
It's all right.
Google's random number generator. Brock.
Yes.
You saw Harley Quinn. Sorry, you saw.
I saw Birds of Prey.
No. Okay, you saw Birds of Prey and the Fantabulous Emancipation of one Harley Quinn. Now, we will discuss the title later. That is a news point, which we will discuss later. But we'll get to that.
I think it's appropriate that Brock was the first number as the
it is
well-established Harley Quinn fan.
That's
what I figured.
That's why I figured Google picked
without any debate, like the cable fan debate. I think this is clear cut.
It's true, yeah.
Yes.
Brock, you went to go see it?
Yes, I went to go see it Thursday night by myself. Sentry, so it's the pay for your own, the pick your seat or selling seating.
As they all are now.
Yeah. There's a handful that aren't, but...
How was the floor?
Floor was
free of gum.
Are you really trying to stretch this out?
No. Going to get the full experience, as we know.
The thing is with this movie, I have flashbacks to the Suicide Squad episode that we did, and a lot of that is problems that we had popped up in that specific one.
That's the joke.
So, well, for the listeners that don't know where that comes from.
For new listeners.
Yes. So, I went in not really expecting very much, and it was fun. I enjoyed it. It didn't blow my mind. It wasn't completely and utterly horrible. It was just kind of in the middle. There were some things that I didn't like. There's some things that I was like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
But, yeah, for the most part, it's just a movie with DC characters in it.
Gripping.
I know. Seriously, that's how I left the theater. I was like, okay.
All right. Kevin, you are of refined taste here, and often on the opposite side of some of us for these movie reviews. I have no clue what you thought of this movie.
I should preface with one comment, though, pre the movie review.
Sure.
I have never read a Birds of Prey comic. Not a single issue, not a single story of any run.
I mean, you know who the characters are.
Yeah, I know the characters. Yeah. I'm just saying I've never, in any incarnation of that title, ever read it.
They just reissued the very first, or like the first 2 collections of Gail Simone's run in kind of like one bigger format. Highly recommended. I probably do prefer the Chuck Dixon run a little bit more than Gail's, but because she builds on kind of a lot of what he had done. But both really good runs. The modern stuff, New 52 is pretty weak. The Batgirl and Birds of Prey Rebirth series wasn't very good. So, the later stuff is but those first 100 plus issues. Fantastic. Highly recommend.
Oh, is that all 100-issue commitment?
Well, no, I'm not saying. I mean, Dixon does like 50 or 60 or something. I don't remember who does in between. There's a small run in between, and then Gail Simone does another 40 or something on the backside. And they're all really good. You have a lot to choose from.
Doesn't she transfer over to the one that was before New 52? Because there was that one series in between.
Yeah, there was a, but that wasn't Gail Simone.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
You're talking about the Brightest Day stuff.
Yeah, the Brightest Day stuff.
Was that Gail Simone?
I thought that was Gail.
But she did maybe did she come back? Because she did the continuation of the regular series. Anyway, Kevin.
Anyway, so my expectation for this, this may be heresy. I don't know if I would have gone to see this theatrically if not for this show. I would have watched it. Sure. I'm just saying I don't know that I would have gone.
Why? I mean, just out of curiosity.
The scars from Suicide Squad are still too raw. I mean, Margot Robbie was amazing in that movie.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. And she's obviously the appeal here. And she was the best thing about it. And I thought it was 1,000 light years better than Suicide Squad, but yet not as good as Deadpool, which seems like kind of the flavor of this movie.
Sure.
That kind of Venn diagram. But I just didn't think it was as successful. It's colorful. It's loud. It's fast-paced. Everyone looks great. It was like watching a 100-minute long, or however long it is, Looney Tunes episode, which is fun for a while, but I found as it went on, my enjoyment level, I kind of got pulverized a little bit.
Okay.
Just because the frenetic pacing was nonstop. It wasn't ebbs and flows of action and drama. So I enjoyed it. I saw it maybe 4 days ago, and it's already fading from my memory fairly significantly. I did review before tonight. I just mean like I haven't really thought back on it at all since the theater, except for this. So I could say more in spoilers. But.
Sure. Charlie.
I mean, pretty much everything that's already been said. I guess the way I kind of round this out is it was an enjoyable movie. I don't have a problem with any of the story choices one problem with the story choices, but that was kind of a given to begin with. But I didn't necessarily feel like it had a lot of rewatchability. I didn't come out of it going like, it was very much okay, I saw it. That was pretty fun and moving on.
So pretty middle of the road for all three of you. Yeah.
Thanks for listening, everyone. We'll see you next week.
Well, as you've said before, the middle of the road reviews are a little dull because you don't have the highs or the lows of and that's why I am fascinated by what Toby would think. I'm excited for him to show up and let us know, which I'm sure he will at some point.
He's going to come in like a wrecking ball.
Yeah, he probably will. But as for me, I really liked it. Going in, I thought, and I didn't hate Suicide Squad. Right, I like Suicide Squad quite a bit. It's clearly got its problems. As a Suicide Squad movie, it's maybe not the best, but they're fun characters, fun action. I enjoyed it for the most part. Margot Robbie's fantastic as Harley Quinn. I'm a little Harley'd out these past few years. There's just like Batman. I mean, you can do a lot with Harley, but they don't. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It is sort of like we have kind of a couple stories. Batman, for whatever reason, is a rare character that I feel like there's almost no level of overexposure that character can have. There's something about Batman, even more so than Superman or Spider-Man or Captain America. Like, Batman's this weird outlier where I feel like you can kind of just have stories forever and lots of them, right? So it is kind of weird to say I'm a little Harley'd out when she has one. Well, she kind of has two books. She has like a kind of an ongoing miniseries as well, right?
The rotating miniseries.
Yeah. But that's it. I do like Harley Quinn quite a bit. And I was excited to see how they were going to differentiate this from Suicide Squad. I was really excited once the reviews started coming in because they were very positive. So Toby's sitting down, he's cracking his knuckles, he's ready.
You better finish.
He's got
your
his
thoughts,
Taco Bell.
Finish your thoughts.
So I was really excited. Clearly, these characters are different from their comic counterparts in quite a number of ways, and we'll talk more about that. Toby threw his jacket on the ground. We'll talk more about that later.
Now
I don't need to say that. as we kind of break down the plot and break down the characters. But yeah, I went in. I wouldn't say low expectations. I went in pretty excited, and I was easily met, if not exceeded my expectations. I think they've hit a good pace with Wonder Woman, Aquaman, this, Shazam. They maybe don't have the highs of some of the MCU movies, but they don't have the polarizing nature that the Snyder movies have had. I think they're all very fun, very good, watchable, good building. A little Phase 1 Marvel, a little Phase 1, Phase 2 MCU stuff, right? They feel like we're in the building blocks now of what DC wants to do here, and I think they're all these movies have been very enjoyable. I've read every Birds of Prey comic. I've read every appearance of these characters more or less for the last 30 years, right? So I have a lot of familiarity with them. So again, once we talk a little more specifics here, I'll get into what I liked about their takes on them. But yeah, no, definitely. Like Kevin, earlier you were joking. You're pegging my number. You're trying to figure out what I was going to say. You're dead right. I mean, like, it's a good A-, right? It's solid. It's very enjoyable. It's not flawless, but and also the R-rated. We'll talk about that when we get into more specifics, and especially with the title and all that, yada yada yada. But that's.
I will say one compliment before we turn it over to Toby is that I really appreciate how. Oh, you're sorry. Okay.
We just need Toby. We just need your intro. We just need your non-spoiler thoughts.
I will say that I really like how all of these DC movies. I'm going to call this Wave 2 of the DC universe.
Yeah.
Feel different and distinct from each other.
Yeah.
And I really appreciate that.
Well, I thought, like, if you really go back and look at Iron Man, Cap, and Thor, they all feel very different from each other.
Yeah, but then they kind of got into the factory streamline.
Right. And I do like that Wonder Woman, Aquaman, definitely Shazam and Harley are very far apart from each other.
And if you want to count Joker.
Oh, I mean, Joker's kind of its own thing, but sure.
Yeah.
Toby, you can continue eating your Taco Bell, but please, non-spoiler, initial thoughts.
Did we go all the way around already?
We did.
Yeah.
We did.
What's everybody?
I'm positive.
Yeah,
they're all middle
that.
of the road.
What?
They're all very middle of the road.
All of them?
Yeah.
Including Brocco?
Mm-hmm. Not angry, not happy. They watched it. They've already forgotten what happened.
I'll be honest with you. I don't know what to make out of this movie. It's actually the first thing I said to Charlie. Because we realized he was sitting right behind me.
When I said I liked it, your reply was, fuck.
Yeah, because I haven't seen it by that point.
Oh, I thought you had seen it already.
No.
Oh, okay.
No, because when he likes something, it's obviously shit. So I was very worried that, this is Venom.
So he's going in, it's garbage.
I was really worried. The minute you said you love it, I was like, shit, we got Ghost Rider on our hand. And I was like, fuck me.
Okay, that's very different. I love Ghost Rider for very different reasons.
Do you love Ghost Rider the same way you love Venom?
No, I love Ghost Rider. Yeah, Ghost Rider 2, yes. As much as Venom, yes. Very similar.
Okay.
Yeah.
I still don't think I've seen the second Ghost Rider movie.
It's wonderful. It's so bad.
I have a lot of gray hair. I thought it was my day job. It might be you, right? It might be you.
Have
I'm
you
not
seen
sure.
Ghost Rider 2?
No. Why?
It's so... Okay, I did make this joke before, and I'll say it again. It may be because I was with our friend Jeff, and I saw it in the theater, and maybe a little bit of that contact high got me liking it a little bit more.
Like, stabbed you with some stuff and injected you with some good stuff. Honestly, Ghost Rider, I'm actually kind of curious because those directors for that second movie, they're wacky, and I actually kind of like those guys.
It's a really weird movie. Yeah. It's not the Spirit weird, but it's weird. Okay.
Did you like The Spirit?
I don't. I cannot answer that question.
Why not?
We've talked about this. The Spirit is maybe the worst movie I've ever seen in a theater, but maybe the greatest movie I've ever seen in the theater.
You're weird, dude.
Have you seen it?
No.
It's very weird. It's very weird.
All right. Anyways,
there's a kitchen sink in it.
I think it's going to be a little anticlimactic here because
very middle of the road.
Yeah, because I can't put my finger on this movie. I literally so story is this. I finished the movie, and I'm there thinking, going, what the fuck? And then I realized Charlie is right behind me, so I climbed on my seat and yelled at Charlie, "What'd you think of the movie?" And he said his piece. He asked about me, and I was like, "I don't fucking know." And it was bothering me the whole weekend that on Sunday night, I bought another ticket and went to watch the movie again. Just to figure out what the hell my opinion is, and I still don't know.
Have you been awake for all of it?
Yes, okay. I think only 1 second or minute I blacked out for.
Okay.
The second time I definitely watched everything. The first one, I think I blacked out briefly in a fight. But I still don't know what to make out of this movie. I like parts of it.
Yeah.
I dislike parts of it.
One of our customers had an interesting take, and maybe you're kind of like that, James. He said he said he's really 50-50 on it because he really would like it, and then something really dumb would happen and he would hate it, and then something good would happen and he would like it, and something bad would happen and he would hate it, and it was like this weird roller coaster the whole movie. Now, I don't agree with that at all. I liked it the whole way through, but
I think my problem with it is identity. I feel like it literally is a Harley / Birds of Prey movie.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I would have preferred it to be either a Birds of Prey movie or a Harley movie.
Sure.
But it's literally like not quite a Harley movie, not quite a Birds of Prey movie.
I mean, I think
no
it's
bad guys.
Well, that's not true.
Yes,
right?
it is.
Black Mask and Zaz? Black Mask and Zaz?
Are they the bad guys in this movie?
Yes.
No, they want the same thing.
But
they're all hunting down for the diamond.
But they're bad guys.
Is Black Canary a good person in this one?
She becomes one.
Is Huntress a good person in this one?
Again, we are at the origins of these characters. both characters
I don't think this movie has a true bad guy.
Okay.
And sure, Black Mask is the big bad.
Yeah.
But all he wants is
and Harley
diamond.
is a bad guy
all
also.
All he wants is
right?
that stupid diamond and kill some people, but he's not the true bad guy of the movie. No, but he's not. He's not. He's not the true bad guy of the movie. Like, if he didn't want the diamond, they could care less about fucking Black Mask in this movie.
But he does care about the diamond. That's why he's the bad guy of the movie.
He's not a real bad guy, though. Like, the other people want the same thing.
He's a
basically
bad guy,
saying
but is
the
he
motivations are the same across most of the characters in this movie.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Which, I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. It's frustrating me. I have more gray hair.
Well, I want to talk about the characters.
Losing hair, I'm going to be really mad at you.
And we'll start
to blame you.
We'll start to get into some full spoilers here. I do want to talk about the breakdown of the characters because I have my initial thoughts on each character because they are clearly, in some fashions, very accurate to the comics, and others very different.
I'll put my 2 cents right now. Except for one, I actually didn't mind any of it.
Yeah?
One I mind a lot.
Okay.
The other ones I'm totally fine with.
Well,
I think it's no surprise which one I have the biggest problem with.
Okay. Start with Harley. I don't think we have a lot to say. She's the same as in Suicide Squad. Different.
Here's my other problem with this.
Yeah, what's it?
It's the same plot as the cartoon, and I think the cartoon did it better.
Which one?
The Harley cartoon.
The current one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the cartoon did it better.
But they are approaching the same material of her leaving Joker, and now what does she do? Which is the same plot of the comic. So it's it's all drawing from the same.
That doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, it's all drawing from the
Deal
Palmiotti.
of the day, 50% off. Who, Brock?
It's all dealing from the Palmiotti Amanda Connor run. So that's a very highly influenced.
And it does. I mean, look, I read some of that stuff, and when I watched the movie, going, I think that's what that run feels.
Just
like.
similar. Yeah. The cartoon. You like the cartoon?
I love the cartoon.
Yeah. I just haven't seen the last one, but yeah, really good. Again, I don't think we have. I don't have a ton extra to say about Harley. I thought she was very good in this. I think it was Margot Robbie that said this. It could have been one of the directors or someone on the production staff. I can't remember. I think it was Margot Robbie though, where she said, in Suicide Squad, they look at the character as the Joker's girlfriend, and she's appeasing the Joker. So her sense of style, her fashion, the way she acts is all to show off for the Joker. Where in this, now that she's separated, it would make sense that she is now for herself. So hence a bit of a personality change, a bit of costume change. Clearly in the comics and in the cartoon and other material where we've seen her now break away from the Joker pretty heavily in every medium. that, yeah, she's gone through some pretty big personality shifts, even to the point of sitting with the Justice League in one of the current issues of it was a Superman where he reveals his identity. People are like, the fuck's Harley Quinn doing there? It's like, well, she's changed pretty dramatically as a character, even within the comics. So I like the change. I love her costumes, and she's great. And this was another thing I know the movie tried to do is less costumes, more clothing. Like, they are still costumes to a degree, but they're wearable, usable clothes. There was a lot of.
This is one thing. This is one part of the movie I hated.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I liked it.
Like,
I
think
that's what they've done in the comics. They've given
the thing
Harley
in the comics. What they've given Harley is her own style based on her duality. But
it's multiple outfits, multiple.
But the thing
costumes,
is, no,
situations.
like in the comic books, it's still there. It still has that pow and that pizzazz, but it's still kind of her duality. You still have that sharp contrast between black and red or blue and red, like.
Very funny.
Yeah.
Harley episode just popped on the TV of Batman the Animated Series.
But in this, and I get why they went with it, because she's kind of lost. She's finding herself, so everything's kind of all over the place. But for me, the costumes were just, it felt like somebody just went on some fashion blog and was like, what's really fashionable now, and throw it all on.
Literally what they did.
And to me, that's not the style of who Harley Quinn is.
Well, they're wearable clothes. Like, that's the difference, right? These are not costumes. That's until the very end.
That tape jacket isn't a wearable clothing.
I mean, it's like high fashion wearable clothing, absolutely.
But if just for me, I didn't care for. I understand why they went that way, but I just didn't like that part.
And I think you see the same thing in most of the MCU movies. They are not wearing costumes in a lot of them. They are wearing some sort of tactical armor, combat stuff, right? They shy away from the traditional costumes. Like, clearly, Iron Man, Captain America. Some of them are more costumey.
No, like the pink top and the pink top that Harley was wearing, and the jeans with the suspenders, like, that's fine, but the jacket they threw on that costume just was like, eh.
Well, there was a ton of crossover with fashion models, makeup companies, tons of music, tons of not really my style on music, but tons of musicians were involved in the marketing for the movie too. It was a very interesting take that I feel like they usually they don't do this in movies, especially.
No, I think they pushed it hard
on
purpose. And I think we're not the target audience.
No, of course not. I
actually think there was very much a girl ensemble movie, and they want to do a very much girl issues and coming from a girl's point of view.
Right.
So more than ever, I actually wish we had a couple of female co-hosts because I really do wonder what they think. Like, I don't think this. I mean. This wasn't for us, I feel like.
Well,
you know what? Not in that kind of sense. I feel like the fashion stuff, the makeup stuff, I think someone would take a different take from it than we do. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, for me, it's like, I understand the direction they did. It's not, like, that's not what I
did see a few people say, oh, this movie wasn't for me. It's like, well, no, yes, it was. That's ridiculous. But...
Yeah, that's not what I meant by that.
Right.
It's like, I think they would get more out of it than we do. Certain details about it.
Leanne, because Leanne really liked it. She said one of her students was saying, like, they're like, oh, I haven't seen the movie, but the soundtrack's fucking amazing. Like, and clearly it's aimed at a different audience. Now, this is one problem. The movie is also rated R. I guess let's get this out of the way before we move on to the other characters. But it really didn't need to be.
And I think you cost yourself 10 to 20 million off the box office by doing that.
Wait, can you break those legs in a non-rated R movie?
Sure.
With the lack of blood and that kind of stuff.
You have to drop most of the F-bombs, but that's...
you wouldn't be able to do Black Mask like that.
We have a lot to say about that shit later. I actually didn't...
The only scene that you couldn't do with... No. Oh, like his first and that lady to take her dress off and stuff. You could totally do that in a PG-13 movie. There was nothing happens.
I'm saying the end...
Oh, where he blows up? You could 100% do that. 100%.
You probably have to dial down the scene with the faces at the beginning.
Sure.
Yeah,
Again,
but you didn't even see him doing it though.
Right. It was either off screen or totally cartoony. Yeah, I don't think there's any short of the F-bombs. I don't think there's really anything in this movie that wouldn't have. I've seen way worse.
The Bert and Ellie massacre.
No, totally fine. There's nothing. Again, it's
you don't see anything.
Yeah, like she's
blood drop
ducking
on the eye.
Yeah. You see like a couple people getting shot, but like again, there's easy ways to edit around that.
Yeah.
That's
content-wise, there was nothing that they couldn't have just filmed slightly differently if they needed to maintain a
yeah.
a PG-13.
I thought this was going to maybe be like. They have the beaver. I was expecting way more jokes about that, like the comic.
I was expecting more out of that, yeah.
I was expecting a ton more drug use. I was expecting...
The cocaine part?
That was pretty good. I was expecting more blood. I was expecting more violence, right? So this was a pretty very toned down rated R movie.
Do you think it was a rated R later in the process?
Maybe after Joker came out?
Yeah.
Probably.
Like so overall, I think for me walking out of this, I felt like it was a crazy, not as good as John Wick, but didn't hit Deadpool.
Oh
right?
yeah,
like it had that, and I know like
the action was good.
The action was done by the John Wick people.
Oh, was it?
Yeah,
I liked it.
And so like I'm like, okay, cool. Like the pacing of it felt kind of.
I love the scene where she goes into the cop with a gun. It was like the fun gun or something like that. That was a great scene.
I love that.
I
love that.
Now, as a parent to a daughter, I hate it because there's glitter.
Oh. No, but that's Harley though.
Yeah.
I know. But it's like I hate glitter.
She just beanbags those guys like right in the face. Like that was a great scene.
Look, Harley, I think has a universal appeal. So making her rated R, I agree, might have cost them some viewers.
Yeah.
Now, I think some people that had no idea. First of all, Charlie knows I went with Stan as an entire family. That entire row was us. Oh no, that was the second viewing. Sorry. Yeah, I mean, and he brought all his kids, all three of them.
Yeah.
And then Harley, the first F-bomb dropped, and I was like, oh yeah. Because I'm oblivious to it at this point, but I looked over going, this is interesting. and all the violence, I'm like, this will be interesting. But they didn't say anything afterwards. I mean, but yeah.
No, I told a friend of ours, he was asking because he has like a 13-year-old daughter that super loves Harley Quinn. And I'm like, you can 100% take your kid to this. Again, your parent, it's your call. Here's the questionable stuff. But I saw way fucking worse.
I mean, the only questionable was the cocaine, and most people didn't even catch that.
Yeah, but I saw way worse when I was 13. I was watching like Predator and Terminator and Aliens, and that's way worse and way more violence what happens in this movie.
I think it was the alcohol abuse.
We turned out so well, too.
Yeah, I know.
That was the big thing.
Again, there's nothing, though.
I mean, she throws the fuck up.
It's fine.
I mean, most of the time in a back and forth with the movie, they would have just been like, you need to cut this many F-bombs and whatnot to get it back in the rating. And I don't think they even... I think they kind of just went, nope, we're fine with the R rating. They didn't try to...
I wonder if they'll re-edit it, kind of like the Deadpool one, and throw it back out PG-13. They could.
They probably be smart.
Did
you guys talk about the title change already?
Not yet.
So,
we'll get there.
Okay, we'll talk about that. Since we're talking about the grade, they did not change the title of the movie.
Well, it's the movie theaters that did it.
Right. So the official title of the movie is still exactly the same.
Okay.
It is Birds of Prey and the Fantabulous Emancipation of One Harley Quinn. What they did was, and the movie should have just been called Harley Quinn and the Birds of Prey from the beginning.
Yeah.
People were looking, seemingly the searches were coming up for Harley Quinn, and no movie comes up when you search for Harley Quinn, because that's not the name of the movie.
Now, to be fair, I mean, all my normal friends, like the one family that were like, let's go watch a Birds of Prey movie.
Right.
Literally all of them were like, what is that?
Right.
And like the Harley Quinn movie, they're like, oh, that's what it's called. Like, no idea what Birds of Prey means.
So
at all.
So as of Monday, they changed the name to Harley Quinn: Birds of Prey in like the theater listings. But the movie is this was a bit of a confusion yesterday, but it is still officially called the original name.
It's so when they can put it up on the like little red marquee, it says Harley Quinn.
Right. And I think that is, naming the name of a movie is. I mean, again,
I just can't wait till the DVD, Blu-rays come out, and it's a lot of little text, and then just like a big Harley Quinn.
Yeah. I mean, I'm oblivious to this stuff because it's called Birds of Prey. Like, the movie's called Birds of Prey. Like, whatever.
Well, here's the problem. I mean, we're going into new territory here, right? We all know Birds of Prey.
Right.
None of the normals do.
Right.
They don't know. I mean, like, maybe a few people that watch Arrow know who Black Canary is.
Well, but this
beyond
is
that, they don't know.
This is the weird
Huntress,
thing. Like,
Montoya.
if I'm like, oh, I want to see this movie. What is the name of the movie? It's called Birds of Prey. I want to go see Birds of Prey. Like, it's weird that someone would go, there's a Harley Quinn movie. I can't find it. Oh, well. And then just like, that's the end. Like, so to me, I don't actually know.
No, but they do refer to as the Harley Quinn movie.
Right, but like,
Can you fault them?
Well, no.
if
You don't connect Birds of Prey to Harley Quinn at all, would you fault it?
Well, this is
what
the
if
same.
it's called The Siege?
would you think?
What if it's a movie called The Siege, and you're like, "Where's my fucking Harley Quinn movie?"
Would you think? Oh, that Harley Quinn movie's not out yet.
This is the same.
Maybe.
This is the same thing we had with like basically BVS, right? Which is technically kind of the second Superman movie.
Yeah.
But they threw Batman on there to make sure that the tagline was
Right.
Batman versus Superman.
Right.
Here, I think they were trying to go, oh, we're going to do Birds of Prey, when it should have just been, no, it's a continuation of Harley's story from Suicide Squad.
Right.
And we're bringing in the Birds of Prey. So I think it was...
I actually think that's not the case at all. I actually think they wanted to distance themselves quite a bit from
Suicide Squad. Yeah.
Therefore, they didn't want any connections to it, and that's why I don't think we even saw Jared Leto as a Joker. It's a complete. You don't have to see Suicide Squad to watch this movie at all.
But Harley is known and the Birds of Prey aren't.
What?
Yeah, the movie, like I said,
say it again.
Harley Quinn is known, and the Birds of Prey aren't.
is a Harley Quinn's a known
that's why.
quantity.
That's been my point.
I guess my mentality on this is slightly different. I agree that this started as we're going to do a Harley Quinn movie, especially with Margot Robbie kind of
Spearheading
it even before like Suicide Squad came out, it sounded like. From that, I think there was a lot of buzz initially around the idea of like the Gotham City Sirens, and for one reason or another, that got kind of shelved. And they went, okay, if we want to keep it sort of a girl group, who else can we use? And that's how it maneuvered into Birds of Prey.
Yeah, like I said, they should have just called it from the very beginning Harley Quinn and the Birds of Prey. That's a very simple title. I don't mind the weird title. I love it. It's great. It's goofy. It makes sense. I'm not against it.
It
but
makes sense to all of us, but again,
from a marketing perspective, it's a tough title.
Yeah.
I saw a lot of people compare it to Edge of Tomorrow. When that movie came out, people
they changed that.
Like the name is meaningless, right? And then they changed the name of it, and it still is a meaningless name.
wait, what's the new name?
I don't remember.
Live, Die, Repeat.
It's still a bad.
That's worse.
That's the worst name, right?
Well, I think the problem is Edge of Tomorrow is just so generic.
Yeah.
Like there might have been a dozen movies called Edge of Tomorrow that have come out in the history of Hollywood.
If whatever streaming platform that movie was on, they saw an increase of it being watched.
All those direct to DVD,
and maybe
movies.
it's a case of just overthinking it, because would you have chosen the graphic novel title for that? All You Need Is Kill.
Yeah,
I don't know that
It's
would
a
have
way
rung
more interesting
bells.
title.
Yeah, it's more interesting, but
yeah.
you've got to think of it from a marketing department's point of view.
Yeah.
They're not going to think of All You Need Is Kill as a catchy title for a large audience. We can disagree, and I do disagree with that. There was a movie with, I remember reading this script. It's Nicolas Cage and Bridget Fonda. It's a romantic comedy before Nicolas Cage got weird.
Okay. Very early.
And it's called, the original script was called Cop Tips Waitress $1 Million.
Okay.
It's based on a true thing where he doesn't have tip money, and he says, I'm playing the lotto, and if I win, I'll give you half the money.
Okay.
It's to make up for not tipping you, and he wins.
Yeah.
So the script was called Cop Tips Waitress $1 million, and that got vetoed in marketing and changed to It Could Happen to You.
Okay.
Now, if I quizzed you in a week and said, what's the movie It Could Happen to You, you have no idea.
Yeah.
But there's oftentimes a fear of a too specific, quirky title.
Yeah.
The other ironic thing is Rosie Perez is in that movie.
Yeah, she is as another waitress.
Yeah.
Anyway, speaking of Rosie Perez, what did you think of Renee Montoya?
Perfect segue. So Renee Montoya probably goes to the least comic accurate of all of them. That said, I don't dislike her. I would not have gone this direction. I would think the company.
Wait. You said least?
Yeah.
Are you fucking serious? In what way is she more accurate than Cassandra?
We'll get to that. Hold on, we'll get to that. I mean, you would think they would want someone younger that can play the role for multiple movies. You would think they would want the question at some point. I think they missed an opportunity with her. When the birds of prey are finally together in costume at the end, she's shooting people, and then she just pulls the question mask down, and I'm up a half a letter grade, right? Like, to me, that was a one, like,
So you would have gone from an A- to an A+?
She's a weird, kind of, again, I like the character in the movie. She's very unique for a superhero movie.
The basics are there for Renee Montoya. The detective, but
it's kinda. I mean, Renee Montoya, at least as a cop, was very young, new, just started out, and especially Batman in the animated series and then the comics. And then obviously you have all the question stuff. This is not that character. This character feels pretty different.
It's like she lived her life completely as a cop.
Yeah,
and then there was never any question in her life.
Right.
And she, she doesn't sleep with the who was she dating at the time?
I don't remember.
The DOA?
I don't remember.
In the movie?
No, in the comics.
I don't remember.
Wasn't it Batwoman?
I think she dated Batwoman but who? I think she dated the lady who was head of the DOA.
Chase?
Yeah.
No. Yes. Chase?
Yeah.
I can't remember. Anyway, yeah, I don't dislike her, just not the way I would have gone. But works with the movie just fine. So, you guys, anything? Yay? Nay?
I mean, I had no problem with how they interpreted the Renee character because yes, in Batman the Animated Series, she was a very young, fresh to the beat cop and that kind of thing. But when you kind of look at her in Gotham Central and that kind of stuff, she is a fully formed detective who's sort of solving her own cases and that kind of stuff. So I kind of felt like this is more akin to sort of the Renee Montoya that could become the question and that kind of stuff, where the Renee Montoya in Batman the Animated Series could never.
No, that's
not
early,
never, but
it's just early in her career.
Yes, early in her career wouldn't immediately transition to sort of the question. So I kind of felt like the original version of Renee from the animated series wouldn't have worked in this movie, but the tenured detective that we've kind of got in the comic books over time absolutely does.
Yeah.
I'm all right with what they did with it. I think I would have probably went a different direction. However, replacing her as Oracle, so to speak, at the end, it oddly kind of works for me as a modern.
Well, she's out there fighting with them too.
Yeah, but she kind of is the brains.
Sure, if they want to put her in their Oracle position because they're not going to have Batgirl, fine.
And even down the road, if they're going to do, say, 2 more movies, and Rosie goes, I'm not going to fucking jump off a trampoline and smash my head in.
Sure.
She can easily be the Oracle.
Yeah. If that's the direction.
In a weird way, I'm
fine with that.
It could kind of work. Yeah. I can see that. And, look, if I distance myself from the Chuck Dixon Birds of Prey, which I think is the definite version of the Birds of Prey, and go, look, these people want to base it off the more modern takes of Birds of Prey, and I'm okay with what they did. I mean, we're going to talk about the other characters. I actually kind of like what they did with the other 2.
Yep.
So in a weird way, I'm actually okay with it.
Yep.
I would have played it a little more serious than cheesy beat cop, but that's all.
Yeah. Let's go to Mary Elizabeth Winstead, also Helena Burton. Oh, you saying? You talking? Did we skip
no, I was just Scott arrived.
Scott's
and
here.
It is 40
less than 45 minutes.
43 minutes into recording.
I got 39 on my end, so he beat the spread. There you go.
I bet on you.
Go in the back room, grab a chair.
Ryan said an hour and a half. I said under 45.
Helena Bertinelli, the Huntress, the crossbow killer.
Freaking terrible!
My favorite part of the movie.
Oh, no!
That's
Absolutely not!
God,
ladies and gentlemen,
The most comic accurate.
If you didn't hear what Kevin said, Scott is in the house.
They didn't. They definitely.
He said, "That's the biggest BS take
He's ever heard.
Ever heard."
Like
Continue, Kevin.
ginormous.
So, Mary Elizabeth Winstead is probably my favorite actress in the cast. I'm not talking about the Huntress character.
Yes.
The performer.
Yes.
They definitely made a choice with this character.
Which was awful.
Okay, it was a bold choice.
I actually don't mind it.
Oh, God.
I actually do not mind it. I feel like
She is the most comic accurate, bar none. Perfect.
story-wise, yeah, but what they chose to do with her character-wise, I actually kind of like. When you translate characters, when you translate characters from a comic book, sometimes you got to add some other dimensions to it, and I actually kind of like this one. I think it kind of works.
Whoa. I get a ton of feedback on something there, Brock. That's
Dude,
not going to work at all.
just because I have an opinion, you have to
that's
always
not
go
gonna
that
work
way.
at all. Take that off. You need to give that to. I'm getting some awful feedback here.
Here, we share.
No, get
me,
rid of
me,
that.
me and Scott can share. We like
Yeah,
phallic
you can share. You can share
things in our
with
faces
Toby.
I
sometimes.
tried. So that was what you bought.
That's all right.
Okay, Scott, thoughts on Huntress?
She was my least. Well, no.
Hold on. Okay, let's finish the Huntress talk, and then Scott, I'm going to want your
I
general
thought she
opinions on
was
the movie.
one-dimensional, flat as a pancake, boring. Like, look, she was an awkward, somewhat
crossbow killer.
Yeah, and you know what? I just didn't. That
100% comic accurate.
100% no.
I like this. I thought she was
False.
funny. I thought the characters
Funny.
replying to her were funny.
Oh, the people that she
She's-
played with were funny.
she's the
They
Batman.
didn't give her anything to work with.
She's
Nothing.
super serious,
Zero.
and everyone's kind of poking fun at
Serious?
her. That was really funny.
She couldn't figure out how to get out of her own way. She was terrible. Did you watch the movie?
Yeah, sure did.
God.
She was great.
One thing I will say though, what was weird about the movie was everybody wants the damn fucking diamond except for her. She just wanted to kill the people.
Yeah.
And-
technically it's her money.
Right,
It's her.
That's her diamond.
Yeah, she doesn't care.
She doesn't even talk.
No.
She doesn't even know about the
No,
diamond.
no,
it seems.
she's just there to kill everyone. Yeah, that's great.
Hence, comic accurate.
Yeah, yeah,
Charlie, what'd you think about the Huntress?
yeah.
I was fine with the Huntress. I do kind of agree with Ryan that the story and the way they utilize a character kind of going in with the motivation was perfect. I agree that they turned certain aspects of it into a little more humorous than you typically get with the Huntress because
Yeah, but it works, I feel
Yeah.
like.
I didn't really have a problem with that. But I wouldn't necessarily say that it makes it the definitive version of the Huntress for me.
No.
But
Well,
it works very well in
Compared
this
to
movie.
Smallville and Arrow, she's the best on-screen Huntress we've had so far. So,
Yeah.
I liked her. I liked the costume. I liked the costume, especially at the
I
end a
remember
lot.
her in Smallville.
And just she was in a couple episodes.
She was?
I think so.
Black Canary was?
Wasn't Huntress in Smallville too?
I don't remember Huntress.
I totally don't remember.
I thought she was.
She was an arrow.
Well,
Absolutely.
yeah,
she
she
was in the
had
first season
multiple
of Arrow.
arcs in Arrow, technically.
Yeah, I know my shit. I don't know about Ryan knowing his
was-
shit.
she
Who
was-
doesn't know Battlestar?
Yeah, she was. Yep, she was.
Damn!
She was in,
Really?
Yeah, she was in Smallville.
Like
Fuck!
a minute.
I'll have to look this shit up. All right, we move on. This is going to be awesome radio.
I didn't mind Huntress. It took a little getting used to how they were portraying the character, but it wasn't. I wasn't. No, this is horrible. So
Yeah.
I mean that's
Huntress.
costume wise. I thought it.
Better than Ashley Scott.
What? Excuse me?
Better than Birds of Prey.
No!
Huntress.
Ashley Scott is number one, even though it's more Earth 2 accurate than anything else.
Scott. Before we move on.
Sorry, I'm trying to look up a picture of Smallville.
Yeah, I
Birds of
swear
Prey.
she was in. I swear Huntress was in Smallville too.
Anyway, Scott, we were just hitting each character
Ashley
individually.
Scott,
But-
man, we got to talk about Ashley. No kidding.
But before we hit up the rest of the characters, Scott, your general thoughts on the movie. For right now, all four of them are very middle of the road. Well, these three are middle of the road. Toby doesn't know what he thinks about the movie, and I really liked it. So
Well, you're wrong.
that's
100% wrong.
Okay.
I went in and I was like, I don't know if I want to see this, blah, blah, blah. I went in and saw it, and it was a 4 out of 10 stars.
Okay.
I would give it a 4. And in movie going, that's for me, who likes all. I am the Charlie West of movie going. I like everything. I hated it. Okay, so. Well,
4 out of 10's got some wiggle room there.
Scott, hold
It's
on.
not like
hold
hate
on.
it.
Wait, did he say 4 or 5 out of 10? Oh, out of 10.
4 out of 10.
Out of 10. All right. Did you
So
read
if you got your
hold
test
on.
back in class, that's a 40% on your
Time
paper.
out real fast.
Yeah, it's good enough.
Scott, Shea.
That's the Higgins
Did you watch this
model.
movie after you read all those newspaper articles you so famously posted on the Facebook group?
No.
Did you decided to go on Rotten Tomato and read all the worst possible reviews ever?
I read no reviews. I saw the newspaper article and posted it as a troll because I was going to see it that day. Went to go see it, and then
what
went
paper-
back and read the paper and was
paper
like,
was that in?
This guy is right, and I hate this guy.
What paper was that in?
The Chronicle.
It was Chronicle, yeah.
Mike LaSalle. He hammers everything, and I don't agree with him except for this movie. Well, I know he hated it beyond belief, whereas I
Hated it more than you.
Oh no! I mean,
There's things you can like about this movie.
Yeah, Margot Robbie is attractive.
Can we go back to kind of like an overview thing of this movie real fast?
Sure. Whoa.
What are you doing? Why are you trying to poke my face?
I was making
No
sure
phallic
I was
things
making
in
sure
my
you're
face.
connected.
Oh, okay. I am connected. Look, we're going into some new territory here, I feel like, because we've done the big movies. We've done the kind of the big side movies. We've done the big team-ups. I feel like this is the first one where we're going into, like, here's a bunch of new characters without being tied into other
For
movies.
DC.
Yeah.
Well, we have, obviously...
I mean, Harley is the only crossover character.
We have weird movies like Eternals and Shang-Chi coming up for Marvel.
Yeah.
That's really going to test their
Yeah, that's
their
going to.
limit.
But I
Right,
think
right,
this is new territory right here.
Yeah, yeah.
Look, we all know who they are.
Yeah.
None of the normals do, except for Harley. So I think this is like a weird movie to
Yeah.
like win with.
So, one thing I just feel compelled to bring up about this, which is one of the things I actually really, really like about this movie. It didn't try to be bigger than it was.
Yes,
it
I
kept
agree.
the budget
I agree.
modest for this kind of movie
This is actually
budget.
what it was. Suicide was.
And it drives me a little crazy how much negativity came out around it because it's already made back a good percentage of its budget, which most movies want to do in opening weekend. Like, I feel like the expectations are like, this needs to perform as well as
It's
these
a-
movies we spend a lot more money on.
That's
It's-
not fair.
And that's not.
Yeah, people seem to think every superhero movie is going to be $1 billion movie. A lot have been very big successes. Not all of them. And they're
I
all
mean, when
gonna be that
Ant-Man
way.
came out, it wasn't
Yeah, Ant-Man and
ginormously
Doctor
huge, but it was
Strange.
solid and made
Yeah.
made a good amount of money.
Yeah, I don't care about the box office. It could be fine. It could be bad. The reviews could be bad. The reviews could be good.
I think Charlie was more
you-
commenting on people's
that you-
happiness that the movie quote unquote bombed.
Well, even
Oh,
beyond
see,
that,
did it really bomb? I thought it did. I thought it was doing really well.
But that's the thing. I don't consider it having bombed, given like the expectations are really weird on this movie.
It's lower than expected. They were thinking 45 million. It came in about 33 million. That is low for a superhero movie.
The only reason it would be
Absolutely.
low, is because it's terrible. Other than that,
Well, if you go by reviews
Like,
very positive. So
which I don't go by.
critical reviews. So
That's most people just going, yeah, maybe it was good,
So-
but I'm not going to see it again.
no,
So,
they were
to me-
really good. The reviews were very positive.
I don't know.
They weren't. They weren't
smoking.
Rotten Tomatoes 61 out of 100. So it's 100% on Rotten Tomatoes. They were actually good reviews.
For me, all it really comes down to, and this is where I'm comfortable with it being a middle of the road movie. Like, I'm not in a rush to buy it. I'm not in
Most are. Most
a
have to
rush
be,
to watch it again or anything. But I don't need every movie I go to the theater to be something that I want on my shelf.
Toby.
So this is where I'm happy for it that I didn't want it to be bigger than they needed to be. Like, I wanted Suicide Squad to be this way. I kind of enjoy that this is in a weird way, not necessarily a heist movie, more like a chase the entire time. A little out of order, a little Quentin Tarantino-ish.
Oh, I love that.
So I actually enjoyed that factor of the movie a lot. I just don't know if I would recommend this movie to someone. I really don't.
Yeah.
That's where my insecurities of what I think of the movie is. Because if I loved the movie, I would tell if Kevin was not my friend all about this movie to make him go watch it. Probably if he is my friend also, but that was a weird point. Okay, don't listen to that point. But I'm thinking a bigger hole now.
Somebody at work.
No, I look. Yeah, this, I don't know. I mean, I enjoy it, right? In a weird way. Maybe not as much as I wanted to, but I don't know. I wouldn't go to a normal going, hey, man, you really need to watch this movie. So I don't know.
Well, we're 3 out of 6 characters through because I do want to hit these other characters.
Could I request, please?
Could we go? We've gone 3. What are the other 2 you've gone through?
We've gone through Harley, Renee Montoya, and Huntress.
Harley's fine, annoying, but fine. Renee Montoya?
Yeah.
I'm recall.
Rosie Perez.
Rosie Perez, who I really like. Rosie Perez, and no,
White man can't jump.
Right, so good, and she's good. I like
happen
Rosie
to
Perez
you.
in this movie. No, I didn't like her as Renee Montoya. I don't think she was badass enough to be Renee Montoya. Period. When you watch her go through all the stuff in GCPD and all, look, no, sorry. False.
What's your request?
Could I request the one character I have almost zero comics familiarity with?
Sure.
Cassie Kane.
Yeah. Okay. Jump in the fire.
Fucking strangle you.
No, I'm not saying I don't like her.
Kill everybody.
But look, I went
it did not help that my fucking Wong motherfucker, Stan, after the movie goes like, so in the comics, does Harley have a sidekick just like that? I'm like, fuck you.
My understanding was that character is Batgirl.
Let me give you my...
Is that right?
Let me give you my rational, nuanced opinion here.
Okay.
Before I hand the floor to Toby.
Yes.
Okay. While very
Be careful
different-
what you say. I have 2 fingers and you two nose holes.
Also known as nostrils.
While different from the comic, right? While different from the comic, there is a couple nuggets that I think could very easily turn her into Black Bat. This is not Cassie Kane Batgirl, right? But there is definitely some things here.
In true Ryan fashion, I quote you in the past. You're wrong.
Way to skirt around the circle.
When do I say that?
That was a terrible character.
You say you're wrong all the
Another
time to people.
terrible character.
So-
And number 2 on my list.
In the comics,
Cassie Kane.
She is her dad is an assassin, right? Kane.
Yeah.
And
Is this the Batgirl that has like the solid black
Yes.
face?
Yes.
Yeah.
So to me, she's a street kid. She's a pickpocket. You already have the perfect kind of Jason Todd like sort of origin here, right? And they say she's an orphan, right? She's in a foster home. Boom, there you go. That's the nugget you need. If they want to do more of this character down the road, you can introduce Kane. You can introduce her lineage. She doesn't have to be like an assassin trained from birth, but there's a lot.
She does.
There is that it is different from the comic, but there's enough of a nugget there that I
She
think
was closer to spoiler than anything else.
You're not wrong. Yeah, there's a little bit of spoiler in there.
And spoiler is way more badass. Stephanie Brown is way more badass than Cassie Kane. She's a clumsy, fumbling pickpocket that just not even close. Put another name on the character.
Yes.
So
I'm not
Yes.
going to disagree with any of that.
If they just
but
called her something else,
Steele.
yeah, Tiffany Nugget. I don't fucking care, right? Calling her Cassandra
the Tiffany
Kane
Nugget.
was a fucking slap in my face. Personally, I take this personally.
Okay.
I sound like a weird fucking internet.
I'm watching the movie thinking exactly the same thing. Oh my god, Toby's gonna be really pissed about this one.
I should make one of those angry YouTube videos where I like just scream into the camera. Did you see the guy? He's a comic book guy. He's mad that Joker didn't win, that Parasite won. He's like, who cares about Parasite? Who watched this thing? Oh, blah, 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 blah. Fuck
So
that
Toby,
guy.
what did you what did you think of the Cassie Kane? Other than the changes from the
That's the biggest problem for me. Look, if they just called her something else, just fucking Tiffany Nugget, no fucking No problem with the movie at all.
No, we got Tiffany Nugget.
Yeah, Tiffany Nugget. No problem with the movie at all. In fact, she's a Rufio niece, like fucking Hook. Like,
Rufio.
Yeah, Rufio.
Yeah,
Fucking,
hell yeah.
I'm all for her. Like, she is a Basco, right? So I'm rooting for her, but not as this.
Nope.
Be Tiffany Nugget.
Yep.
I'd be like, yeah, you go, girl.
She's got to drop a nugget in the...
Yeah, but not as Cassandra Cain. I'm sorry, not as Cassandra Cain. I'm not buying it.
As someone who has never read a comic with this character, what do you think? Ignore the Batgirl stuff.
Well, yeah, that's the whole thing. I was kind of having this thing pinging in my head, thinking, am I remembering the wrong character? Wasn't this Batgirl at some point? Because this character does not seem like she could ever be Batgirl.
No.
This character is Jar Jar Binks.
She is the Jason Todd.
She is
of this
no
universe.
better than Jar Jar
In
Binks.
this movie?
If you
This movie,
think
she's Jason Todd,
hey,
right?
if you
She's
feel
the-
like Jar Jar Binks could be the badass Robin, then you're correct. But once again, in this movie, you're totally off base and so wrong.
she is like,
But again,
she is Jason Todd.
Look,
like, I'm
again,
not crazy.
If they just call her something
You are
else, I would
crazy.
have. No, but I would have nothing against this, what they chose to do, right?
Okay.
It's just the fact that they were like, it's an Asian girl. What Asian characters are in the DCU? Oh, her. Done. Let's give her that name. Like, I mean, that's what it seemed like they were doing. They had
don't
nothing
know.
in common with the comic books at all. And look, I'm not a guy that's like, hey, it has to be fucking perfect, right? I'm okay with them changing. We'll get to Black Canary later. I have lots to say about that.
Yeah.
But in this case, there's literally nothing in common with the character that she's based on, like, at all.
She's in foster care. It means she's got a dad. It means her dad. I mean, Kane's out there.
Fucking DC apologists.
I feel this is.
Are you-
is
am I
this how
wrong?
Bryce feels? Is this
So-
how Bryce feels?
Go, Charlie.
Is this how Bryce feels? Because if it is,
Hashtag Bryce Fields.
God,
Trying to retcon they could do this to bring her closer to the character doesn't fix the attitude and the way the character kind of interacts with the world. Not to mention you are never going to get to that attitude pairing her with Harley Quinn for who knows how long.
But Harley Quinn starts her down the path of killing people.
Harley Quinn doesn't do subtle.
Next movie, Kane comes and is like, "You have my daughter," and Harley's like, "Whatever." She's hanging
and the
out with
kid's
me.
like, "Well, I'm going to steal your gun, and I'm just going to fumble pickpocket all over the place."
Let's
Sorry,
move to
these
Black
changed.
Canary because I have a
No,
very similar.
hold on.
No.
I just handed Kevin the first trade. Just flip through it. No.
Okay.
I just want you to flip through it for a second. Just flip through it. Does anything that you see while flipping through makes you think of the Cassandra Cain you saw in the movies?
Is this her?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Just flip through. Just flip through.
See, well, Toby, what I would have said to you before flipping through this.
Yes.
I didn't know that even Cassandra Cain was Asian. I just knew she looks like this Batgirl with the all-black mask. I didn't know who that was underneath
You also
there.
have two nose holes. I want to
No,
just to
but I'm
remind
saying,
you.
I now know that from opening this.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
Ryan,
let's say-
the last thing I would say is I don't mind. I think it's an interesting idea. It could be an interesting idea for Harley Quinn to have a sidekick
Yeah, which
and
is
her
fine.
hyena.
I'm actually cool with that. I'm actually
No
cool with all
problem.
of it.
I was just mentioning this character because I have no comics knowledge about her.
Yeah.
I thought it was this Batgirl,
Yeah.
and so the time I'm watching the movie, it's just ringing in my head, going, "Something is this? Am I crazy here? Isn't this Batgirl?"
Dude, again, everything they chose with the movie, I'm fine with,
Yeah.
except for it's not her.
Yeah.
Just Tiffany Nugget.
but
Totally fine.
Ella J. Basco is
But
the
that
actress's
gives
name
you
too.
the Batgirl for the Birds of Prey.
Some credit
No,
there.
it does not. She is not that character.
Toby, let's talk about Black Canary. Journey. Smell that bell. All right.
From Friday Night Lights, I would like to add,
I would like to say, in a very similar fashion to Cassandra Cain, while different from the comic version, you get that nugget, right? You get her mom was Black Canary, her mom was killed. So you have a little bit of Black Canary in there. You have a little bit of Silver Age Black Canary. You all have a little bit of Watchmen. What the hell's her face?
Silk Spectre.
Silk Spectre, right? So kind of, little similarities there, right? Different from the comics, but again, you have the elements that I think for an origin and the background can work.
Didn't they bring in elements of what they did in New 52 also?
No, in DCU. The DCU.
Yeah.
Well, that's how her. She's a musician and
That's
everything.
the
And
one.
that.
She's a musician. They're touring.
But different. She's
Well,
like,
no.
she's like in a goth rock band.
I have some recollection of her being involved with like Penguin's Club at some point.
That may be
Which I think was New 52.
in the Birds of Prey comic from there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Might have been.
That's what I recall.
I've
as
read
well.
them all, but
so
I
this
don't
character, I liked.
Yeah, she's
she
fantastic.
she is probably 3 3/4 of my 4 stars. I thought she worked. I thought as Black Canary, I can see it. As she played the character well. There's a certain confidence that that Black Canary has because of history and her mother. Blah 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 blah. I totally bought every moment of Black Canary being Black Canary. 3 3/4 stars just for that.
So, I think she was the highlight for me in the movie. I absolutely loved her. I think she was fantastic. And like you mentioned, similar to the Birds of Prey TV show with the awesome Ashley Scott as Huntress, where they had the young teenage Black Canary, and then they kind of retconned it by like, oh, maybe we fucked it up, and let's bring in her mom as the real Canary. I can buy that. The DCU version of the Black Canary that we all know is actually her mom.
Well, and
This is like the next generation of it. Yeah.
That's the Silver Age origin, right? So
Yeah.
you had the Golden Age Black Canary
Yeah.
was the mom, and then the Silver Age, the daughter was the one that came over to Earth. One. And then they just made it one Black Canary post.
Sure. And look,
post crisis.
Yeah, it's when they retcon, so she was a founding member of the JLA.
Yeah.
So, I mean, look, I like what they did in Arrow. They split the Canary into like 3 different characters and like some better than others. I still think, if they were going to do a movie Black Canary, that they should have got Catherine Winning and do a proper Black Canary. But they chose to kind of go in a more modern way, and I think this is the perfect way of doing it. So, all hats off to Journey. I really, really liked her.
Yep.
My 5-star out of this movie.
I agree. I thought she was really good.
Yep.
In fact, I'll go watch any movie with her as Black Canary in it.
And I know, I like why they give her a reason to not use her powers through most of the movie. It makes sense. And then when she does use her powers, it's awesome.
But they teased it, so it didn't come out of nowhere.
Yeah,
it works.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if you want to see Black Canary and Black Panther in a TV show, go watch Friday Night Lights, which is an awesome show.
Yeah.
It's a fantastic show. Oh, and Gambit is in that show, too.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
yes.
Tyler Kitsch. Yeah, Gambit's in that
also
show.
known as John Carter.
Yes, which I also love.
Anyone else? Black Canary?
But it was fine.
Yeah.
Are we doing the villains?
Well, so,
I kind of like the throwback to, like, doesn't she wear a costume where she has something like a driver's hat on? Isn't there one of her costumes have like a...
Maybe.
Like one of her costumes, like older costumes, had like she had a hat.
I don't remember.
But like I don't know, I thought her being the driver was a good fit in the singer in the club.
Yeah, no, it worked well. Well, we get real quick. Chris Messina was Zaz. He was great. He was Zaz.
No,
he was totally Zaz.
No, he was horrible.
Okay,
I do not understand this. Like, since when are Black Mask and Zaz a couple?
They're not.
Yes, they are.
Like in what way?
Oh, they're totally a couple in this movie. Come on.
Zaz
He's his right-hand man.
Zaz is not.
Yeah, I say right hand. All right.
Zaz doesn't play well with others.
He's not goofy. Zaz is edgy psycho, not goofy psycho.
I'm not a big fan of Gotham, the series, but I liked him in Gotham. He was creepy as a motherfucker in that.
Is Zaz goofy in this?
Oh, yeah, he was totally goofy. In fact, all the men were goofy as fuck in this movie, okay? They're all fucking idiots. Like, every single one of them. Like, to be fair, sure, there's been millions of movies where all the girls, I'm not going to say it, so it's only fair we turn it around a couple, but all the men are stupid in this movie. Like, every single one of them. Even the one dude that seemed alright betrays her. So, all the men are stupid in this movie.
I don't know. Who was good? I agree that they did not do a good job of... So, to go back to Zaz in Gotham
Oh,
for
sorry.
a
All right,
second,
go ahead. Let's
because
go
I
for it.
did like Zaz in Gotham also.
Yes.
They made it very, very clear that Zaz in Gotham
He's creepy as a
was
motherfucker.
creepy, and he was only kind of working for those people as an excuse to kill people.
Yeah.
Like, that
Yeah.
was his motivation.
Yeah, and this one he has a weird crush on Black Mask.
In this one, I don't necessarily felt like they communicated his need or desire to kill people as much as just...
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was goofy.
Well, we can all agree.
I don't think they hit the nugget with that.
We can all
Are
agree.
you really going to preface a sentence with "we could all agree"?
that Ewan McGregor as Black Mask?
What?
Fantastic, magnificent,
You also have two ear
Magnificent.
holes. Let me remind you.
incredible, wonderful, beautiful, hilarious.
You're a clown.
so good.
He just wants to be punched
So
in the face.
good. It's like they took
He's asking for
a
it.
Batman 66
This is why I always
villain.
make sure I'm the one sitting here.
I think he does because I can't get
Why do you
past
think he
this
put the
giant
two
mountain.
big guys
It's like they took a Batman
here?
66
Oh, I can
villain
jump pretty fast. They will not see it coming.
and then like made him creepy as hell because
What?
when he's a
Where is he
goofball,
creepy?
he's a goofball.
When is he creepy?
When he gets serious, when he's threatening to kill that lady and to cut off her dress and shit, and some of those other scenes.
Yeah, well, I needed like 80% more of that.
I
It's-
feel like I was watching the 80s Batman movies.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did you?
Yeah.
I mean, that's
is
what
that
I felt
is
like.
that a
the
bad
90s.
thing? Like, there's
it
a little
just
bit of
didn't-
Jack Nicholson
it just-
Joker in there.
I think he's
That's
thinking
what
more
I'm-
like.
Yeah, I
I
think-
think he's thinking
Thinking
more like
Jim
he
Carrey
would fit
Riddler.
in the Joel Schumacher Batman movie.
Right.
Look,
90s.
I be honest.
Yeah.
The whole dancing on the table thing, I'm like, yeah, 80% more of that stuff in the movie. I'll be fine with this.
Oh, I thought he was great.
No. Actually, the first thing I turned again to Charlie after my question
In the
of
middle
if
of
he
the
did
movie,
he like it.
he's like, "This sucks."
No. I only did that in BVS. But no, that's the second question I asked him because look, the Black Mask I read in the comics, which is not a lot.
Yeah.
This is not the Black Mask I imagined.
No,
This is not what I thought of a Black Mask.
And when he's getting his ass to cut those people's faces off, like Black Mask is fucked up, but
Yeah.
he's just like a gangster.
Yeah, but he's not just a gang. He's
Just
like a
a-
goofy, flamboyant gangster in
That's
this one.
fine. It's way more
He's
character.
like almost
than
like
the
a
comics.
wannabe Joker because after Joker, I didn't really necessarily want to see that.
Well, so I agree he's not the Black Mask from the comics in a lot of ways. I do feel like there were moments of the Black Mask from the comics that kind of came through when he would be more serious and more intense.
That nugget.
That being said, they needed a character like this for a Harley movie.
Yep.
See, I think part of me is there's just too much goofiness in this movie to make the goofiness be funny or fun. The balance, I think, was off. It was too much goofiness without the backdrop of a seriousness
Yeah.
to
it's-
work. Like, I actually like all the people that come back to haunt Harley in that goofy way. I'm like, that works for
Yeah.
me because it's on a former's perspective from her. Like, they might not actually be like that, but
straight
that's
out of
the way.
Amanda Connor and
Yeah,
Amy
but that
Palmiotti
worked for
Yeah.
me, right? That worked for me. But I almost needed like a more serious backdrop to make the Harley thing be wackier and make it work for me.
So I will definitely chime in that I agree with you in a lot of ways. It works better when not everybody is.
Yeah, hence
why the Huntress skewed
worked really
that
well
way.
with this for me. Like, this is why the Huntress, the way they chose to make Huntress, works perfectly.
Well, it's part of the reason why I love the new take on the Tick that Amazon did. It's why I think Deadpool in some ways works a little bit more because Deadpool is the insane one of the movie.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, and that's kind of what I want to see with this. Therefore, I feel like if we had a more creepy villain, that Harley is going to be even wackier. That would work better for me. I mean, yeah, choices. But.
I actually loved the villain cutaways that came into the movie. So that was that's the
Oh,
camp.
the
That's the
comebacks?
yeah. That's the camp goofiness
I
that
love
I
that.
like from Harley. I mean, again, that's the okay. So maybe
I think my favorite one is the one where like, what did I do to you? And you're like, look at my face. So,
That was great.
the question marks
Yeah.
pop up.
yeah, I loved all the comebacks.
No, I think that Black Mask was split too much. Like you agreed, there was a ridiculousness that was pumped in the character that wasn't needed. If he was serious and very just creepy and trying to be what.
The funny thing is, if they actually done the creepy, serious thing, and then he goes flamboyant, you'd be even more scared of him because you don't know which way he swings at all at that point. I think the Goofy was just tiled up a little too much on him.
So I have a comic question.
Yes.
So I've read a lot
That's funny because you're the one that reads, so it's interesting that you're asking.
So I've read a lot of Harley material which deals with the Joker Harley breakup.
Sure.
One thing I really did like in this movie is they established that she was kind of horrible in general, but nobody would mess with her because she was with the Joker. I don't remember them ever going that direction in the comic. I'm just curious if they
in the comic,
did in any of the series.
In the comic, they never went that way because by that time she had become her own person in the comic.
She was kind of his enforcer for a while.
Yeah. And so,
which made her again a little bit more of a formidable
force to be
foe,
reckoned with.
not somebody that everybody's just going to come after.
You could write. I mean, Paul Dini would write a story where it was just Harley and not Joker.
Yeah, and I love all the Paul Dini Harley stories I have ever watched or read, and I have seen a lot of them now. This wasn't like some of the stories I do remember really, really liking are sometimes when the stuff that happened while she was with Joker would come back to haunt her. Like there was one where a ex-sidekick sort of person that got pushed aside when Harley showed up came back trying to get revenge, and that kind of thing. And I do remember really liking that story. One thing I did really like about this movie, because it made sense to me, is that whole idea of the breakup itself would have ramifications. Mm-hmm. Because it makes entire sense that nobody's going to mess with somebody that connected to the Joker because you don't want to cross the Joker.
Yeah, I kind of enjoyed that too.
Yeah.
And also I kind of enjoyed the whole her going through the breakup and being a little nuttier than even usual.
And that's one of those things that it felt like a story direction that was just lying there and obvious, and I'm surprised it took the movie to make me go, wow, that should have happened.
Yeah.
Well, I think we can all agree it was a great movie, perfect, flawless.
Look,
we're gonna get to some
you need to
numbers
stop.
here.
You need to stop.
How many teeth does he have?
I don't know. He has too many right now. You're not going to have very many after this. I mean,
well, Scott, many people seem to agree with you because the movie brought in a meager $33.25 million opening weekend, which is very low for what their estimates
sounds
were.
good. I mean, budget-wise, I don't feel like
we're right at about hitting production budget right now. Where are we?
Yeah, with the worldwide
budget's $84.5 million, worldwide's $81. So yeah, we're right there. Obviously, I think Shazam did like 440 or 410 or something. I don't know if this movie's going to quite hit that number, but I expect this will be successful enough.
Look, I actually do want it to be successful. I just don't know where I lay with my opinion of this movie.
That's all right.
I'm like,
how do you not know?
I still don't know. I watched it. God. Did I? Well, you weren't
watched
here.
It twice.
I even watched it twice because I couldn't make up my mind on this movie. I went again.
It's because you hated it so much. You were like, I guess I need to go see it again.
Scott,
maybe it shouldn't be that bad.
No, I actually did not hate it. I seriously went I like parts, and I'm like, I don't know where I stand.
For all our listeners, Scott, you were the dissenter of the group right here. Okay. You're listening to this podcast. You have not seen this movie yet. You basically go. I'm talking about the person listening. You've seen basically every comic book movie.
Correct.
Right.
Yeah.
Joe Flack.
You're someone listening to this podcast. You're going to go see all these movies.
Yeah.
You're thinking about maybe skipping this one. What
Go
does
see
Scott
it.
Shea say to this person?
Automatically go see it if it's comic book movie, period.
Okay, that's the correct answer.
I mean, number one, I'm not going to say don't see it.
Yeah.
Now,
I mean,
Clearly, Toby did not see my tweet.
It was better than Uncut Gems.
You're going to go see Bloodshot?
Whoa. Now we're going to have some talking to do.
We're going into prime
We're going to have
Higgins
some
takes
talking
now.
to do here.
No, the Higgins
Holy
take was
shit.
Toby clearly did not see my tweet where I said, imagine not seeing a superhero movie in the theater. Also, imagine seeing a Fast and the Furious movie in the theater.
I do not know what you mean by that. I'm sure there's some fucking meta bullshit going on. But here's what's happening.
Nothing. It's very obvious what I just said.
No, it's not obvious.
Dig into the layers.
On Thursday night, I was like on the shitter going through Twitter, and I'm like, there I see fucking Ryan talking about Birds of Prey. I'm like, fuck! Swipe! I don't want to read nothing Ryan fucking writes on Birds of Prey. Then, I do this weird, obvious thing. I switch over to fucking Facebook. I'm like, and then fucking Ryan posting, I'm like, swipe. I don't want to read anything. And then I see Scott Shea's fucking newspapers clip. I'm like, swipe. I don't fucking want to see any of this shit.
So, Scott, are you going to go see Bloodshot?
That's a bridge too far.
Am I going to go see Bloodshot? Vin Diesel's in it, right?
Vin Diesel's
yes.
in it.
Vin has a little bit of built up, goodwill from being in the Fast and Furious movies.
He's not Dom in this movie.
But he was good in Pitch Black.
Hey man, Han is back. Justice is coming.
I'm so excited.
Asian people don't die.
That's a Fast and the Furious reference, Ryan. Just so you know.
I'm sure.
Yeah, he doesn't like Fast and the Furious like all of you guys should not like.
Dude, you know who's going to come back in number 10?
Brian.
No, it's even better than
Ryan's
that.
brother's coming back in this, isn't he?
I think so.
As
That's a
his brother.
rumor.
Ryan, did you have some listener takes on?
Hold on. I'm not done here, Kevin. If they bring Han back in number 9, who do they bring back in number 10?
Gal Gadot?
Yeah! Wonder Woman, full glory in the Fast and Furious movie.
They're not going to be able to afford her. You know that.
CG her in from past footage.
Charlie looks confused.
Given how much money the Fast and the Furious movies make now,
Yes.
there's no way they
With the amount of
can't
stars they can
afford
hire.
her.
Okay, I did get a few questions from Patreon and a handful on Twitter, so let's read
Hey,
through
Ryan.
these. First one's from Travis.
Dude, Ryan, seriously, dude. Fast and Furious, man, where nobody fucking dies or everybody dies and comes back from death. Total comic book movies, man. Like, Letty died in, number 4, came back. Han dies in, number 6.
Twice.
Yeah, twice. Comes back, man. So, Gal Gadot is going to come back in number 10. I'm calling it right here.
Nice. So Travis, he says, one of my 2 complaints before going with Squash at the end by Harley explaining she wasn't really part of the Birds of Prey. They could have had a scene with Harley voiceover explaining why they chose the name, though. And that's true. Yeah, she's not part of the Birds of Prey. It's Harley and the Birds of Prey, right? Other big complaint confusion still stands. I've barely read Cassandra Cain in comics, other than the James Tynion and Detective Comics run. But from what I've heard and read, she's deaf. Just Cassie in name only, so they should have canned her character. Actress did fine for what the character was, but bad name.
Yes.
Right, Toby?
Yes,
That's what it says.
absolutely. Good man.
Otherwise, great casting and story. Margot was more Harley than ever in a good way. Ewan McGregor was real good as Black Mask. Journey Smollett was great as Dinah. Obviously changed her origin, but good. And I haven't seen her since the movie Jack in 1996. Never saw Jack.
Friday Night Lights, baby.
Was she like
The Robin
teenager in
Williams
that?
movie.
The only thing I think of when I think of Jack is the Tropic Thunder.
Despite the little screen time, Huntress was good too, and I agree with that.
So is there a question?
No question. From
Oh,
Chris.
yeah, his question was right, Toby?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
From Chris, he does have a question. He says, unfortunately, I've not seen the movie, so I don't have a movie question.
Go watch it.
But related, what other Batman adjacent properties would you like to see would you like to see DC adapt for the big screen? Personally, I've heard rumors of Karen Gillan possibly playing Barbara Gordon in a Batgirl film, and that would be all kinds of awesome to me.
Sure.
I could see her. as Batgirl.
Sure.
Totally. Yeah. That'd be
Can we
great.
also shoot her in the back so she becomes Oracle and has a wheelchair and then leads the actual Birds of Prey?
Which Joker do you want to shoot her?
Huh?
Which Joker do you want to shoot her with?
I have a feeling they're going to avoid that.
Yeah.
Heath Ledger.
I would. How about a crossover?
He doesn't shoot her. He puts a pencil in her back.
How about a crossover of Margot Robbie? Since Margot Robbie's Harley is now single, she can pair up with Jared Leto's, Joaquin Phoenix's Joker. And there you have.
he'd
So
be
you have
like
the 3 Jokers
50 years
in the
older.
theaters.
He'd be 50 years older. 40 years older. Yeah. It's weird that we haven't had, like, the Batman family, like a Nightwing Batgirl team-up movie. I feel like that like
Do you think if we had another Nolan movie, it would have been Joseph Gordon-Levitt
as Robin.
as Nightwing Robin?
Sure. Yeah,
with
I think
Christian Bale maybe more as a
That'd be cool.
Batman Beyond, kind of sitting in the background kind
I'd
of
be okay with
character. I would have loved to,
Yeah.
especially in the Nolan universe. I would have fucking loved
Yeah,
that.
yeah. I think a solo Batgirl movie would be awesome too, especially if they get into her smarts and detective skills and the elements that really she gets when she's Oracle. The modern Batgirl, right? A good combination of those.
I mean, for me, her Oracle character is just so strong with what came out of that storyline of how she transformed herself is my favorite. One of my all-time favorite comic book stories.
Yep.
So it's weird that I say this, that it's a shame that they don't want to go there anymore. It's a shame that they took her out of the wheelchair. And I feel like she was such a strong character in the wheelchair. Like, if that makes sense. I mean, it's mean to say to wish someone's in a wheelchair, but
rare character growth in comic book.
Yeah.
That
actually,
they
retcon back.
I love her both ways, but I do love Oracle.
Yeah. And I feel like, you could have done what they're doing, whatever they have planned with Batgirl with Stephanie or with whatever, that they could have kept Barbara Oracle going on, but I'm not a dude at DC that makes decisions.
I don't think we've gotten a good modern Robin in a while. Besides the show.
Really had a Robin.
I mean, if you're going really, really Batman adjacent for me, and I'm probably the only one who would love to see this at the table, but I would love to see the Gotham by Midnight actually adapted into something.
Gaslight?
No, Midnight.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I love that 12-issue run or something.
Get me the Spectre in Gotham. I'm still there. For that.
Get me the DC Universe is the perfect platform for the Gotham Central streaming series.
Yeah.
Speaking of the Spectre.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Speaking of the Spectre.
What's up?
Just finished up watching Crisis.
Oh. Well, okay, hold on.
I knew exactly where he was going with this.
Through these
I knew
questions.
exactly where he was
I
heading with
forgot
this.
Scott had something else he wanted to talk about.
Oh.
Well, let's get through these questions, and then Scott
Yes,
wants to
something
discuss
to
Crisis.
say, as they call it.
So much for the short show. Zach says, I thought Hunters of Black Canary were amazing.
I would also like to discuss Crisis on Infinite Earths, the comic book series. Can I
Okay.
do that after?
Sure.
So much better than the
And I really hope they get another shot in a movie, but man, this movie just really reminded me of how burnt out I am on Harley Quinn. I think they need to put her on the shelf for a while, both in the comics
Brock
and
will
movie.
kill you, I think.
No.
No, I think
It's a joke, fucker. It's a joke. Move
I
on.
wanna see
It's a joke. It's a joke. Move on.
Deadpool and Harley characters, they do wear on you a little
Yeah.
bit. It's a timed humor thing. It's you again. If you're just force fed tons of Harley or tons of Deadpool, I'm sorry, you're just going to get tired of it.
Charlie was talking about this before we recorded that with the Jimmy Palmiotti and Amanda Connor series. It was good, but there was the regular series. Then there was this many and this many and this and then all of this stuff, and it's just too much all at once. And when all of this stuff could have just been included in the main title, where Suicide Squad came out a few years ago. We're getting Harley Quinn again. Okay, it's fine, but I don't need this movie followed up right away with another Harley Quinn movie.
No, they're following it up with Suicide Squad 2.
Yeah,
with Harley Quinn.
With Harley Quinn.
Well, this
she
is
gets
something.
arrested again.
This
Hopefully
is
she
the question
can be-
now, right? They have Money in the Bank with Joker, rated R. Deadpool, rated R.
Joker 2.
Birds of Prey and Harley. Ooh. Is Suicide Squad suddenly not a rated R movie anymore?
No, I think that one has to be rated R.
Do they? Are they like,
think
no,
that
we
has to
trust in James Gunn. We trust people will come out to this. Scott's giving me the big thumbs up. All right, Kevin's giving me the big thumbs up.
So
and Scott.
I'm still falling on this movie is not going to lose money.
I think this movie's going to have a little more steam. It depends on what the next few weekends are.
We'll see.
Yeah. But it's already made enough. It's not going to lose money, and as long as it doesn't lose money, they're not going to
this is
drastically react to one movie.
I just thought that a huge chunk of audience that would get a lot out of this movie from an enjoyment standpoint is alienated from the movie theatrically because of the rating.
Because
So,
the kids.
honestly, I don't know anymore.
Really?
So
You don't think teenagers would enjoy watching this?
Teenagers
it's not
are
that-
going to go see it.
Teenagers don't watch movies anymore.
No.
Sorry to break it to you. It's YouTube all the way.
But to me, it's not even necessarily that. It's there's this idea that the rating is going to prevent a lot of people from seeing a movie, but at the same time, the amount of kids who have seen the Deadpool movie, and I'm not talking about the edited PG-13 Deadpool movie. I mean, the Deadpool movie.
The amount of kids are going to see this movie too.
Yeah, it definitely might have a factor. I just don't know that number associated with it is as big as you might think. Now, mind you, it's possible that it will affect how many times they'll go see it, but
we'll find out next week.
Yeah.
Couple of comments on Twitter from Jesse. I loved it. I really want to see it again. I think personally I loved it more than Deadpool. The talk around it by people who haven't seen it just bums me out. I'm just tired of negativity. You and me both, Jesse.
I'm just tired of Ryan Higgins. Not negativity, but Ryan, not kidding.
I'm not going to be negative, but to say that this was better than either of the Deadpool movies is ludicrous.
there was only one Deadpool movie. Then there was the Cable movie.
Okay. The Cable movie.
Cable fan has spoken.
Cable and the Fantabulous
hold on.
Emancipation of Deadpool.
Let's hear from Bryce on this. Hold on. Shh. Crickets. That's right. Charlie's here, winning.
Brandon says Hunter stabbing people in a funhouse on funhouse slides is what I never knew I needed. I agree.
I actually want to say I liked the ending setting that they go to an old Joker hideout and they use that as a set. I actually quite enjoyed that.
A lot.
And I will admit, I like the part where she opens up the cachet of weapons. And it's
there's nothing there. Yeah.
Neil says I was pleasantly surprised. Was it what I would want? Blah, blah. Let me try that one more time. Was it what I would want in a Birds of Prey film? Absolutely not. But it was entertaining. Thank you. Ulysses says I enjoyed it and would see it again. Harley Quinn, Birds of Prey. Also, unrelated, why hasn't Marvel released the hardcovers yet for Chip Zdarsky's Daredevil run? I don't like the trade paperback.
Why has Marvel not released the hardcovers of Birds of Prey?
Ulysses, just wait. That Marvel always gets the soft cover first. Hardcovers come out later. Once the run's done or you have more run, you get the bigger hardcovers.
Sometimes you have to wait for some anniversary for them to finally put out the right collections.
Well, while we're at it, can you tell your friends over at DC Comics to fucking finish the Birds of Prey trades, please?
We've requested.
Can you request again? Because just tell him you got this asshole guy that sometimes works here but doesn't really. Really wants the rest of these.
Toby, if only there was a movie tie-in that they could promote and finish the trades.
But then they would realize it's not the same.
Yeah. Scott Shea sock puppet account Todd says highly disappointing, worst DC movie since Batman and Robin. Woof.
Whoa.
No.
Whoa.
No. There's not much worse you can get than Batman.
Well, he says
Robin.
since Batman and Robin. So is this
You do realize Catwoman came out after that, right?
Definitely. That's another
sock
level.
puppet account. Learn your shit.
If you watch Batman and Robin as a big screen 2-hour episode of Batman 66, it totally works.
Yeah.
But that's it.
Yeah.
Nothing after that.
No.
It is... Suicide Squad was way better than Harley Quinn.
That's an opinion that I don't think a lot of people share.
I don't know.
That's a big exhale from Kevin.
I heard. Look,
I'm not waiting back.
You guys all know my opinion on Suicide Squad, how I wanted that to end. But I heard one version of the movie had them actually build the boom tube at the end of it, like that. The Enchantress, what she was doing was.
Oh, she was supposed to be working with
Darkseid,
or what's his face?
I mean, look,
Steppenwolf. Yeah. Steppenwolf was supposed to be in the movie.
Oh, really?
It was but it got caught up in the whole crazy.
As much as
BBS,
I would have liked Suicide Squad to be more grounded, that ending would have been fucking killer.
Yeah. Vampire Angel 13 says, loved it. I would definitely see it again. Action scenes were pretty amazing, and I loved all the color and how Gotham was portrayed. I agree.
I didn't feel like it was Gotham at all until we got to the amusement park.
It's just
certain parts.
How many times have you seen Gotham in the daytime?
Yeah, not often.
Yeah, how do you know how Gotham looks like in the daytime?
I get that, but
I loved the scene with the scenes with the sandwich. With the egg sandwich, dropping it.
Without the
really
meat,
funny.
I would have loved it too.
Yeah.
No, but that's the stuff that you expect. The rest of the movie around, like the comebacks and the sandwich, it was that, a pretty good Black Canary, and you hear how quiet it got there? Yeah, exactly. Nothing else.
No, I do actually like the sandwich scene. I actually like the whole sequence afterwards. I do have a plot question though.
Okay.
So when Harley sits in her apartment with the hyena and fake Cassandra Cain, you see
Who's at the door?
who's at the door,
That was a weird.
right? And she asks questions to the Asian gentleman,
Yeah.
who then later disappears and appears to have betrayed her.
Yeah.
But it's also not Black Mask people that went after her. It was like some crazy dude that just
randos.
wanted to take her down.
Yeah.
And the cops are at the door, but afterwards nowhere to be seen. Are they just all dead from the explosion?
They may be.
Like, so that whole sequence, I was like, whoa, let's back the fuck up. What just happened?
Well, she's like, the cops are here.
Yeah,
like,
they're at the door.
She probably sold her out. The cops probably were like, "Hey, where is she? Okay, she's upstairs.
Well,
You're
but
the
then
cops. You're going to raid my
did Bertolini,
restaurant."
but did Helena sell her out? Like the Asian dude sold her out to Bertolini, and she sold her out to the cops, and the cops ended up knocking on the door while a crazy guy blows it all up.
Yeah, well, so they're like, "Fuck, we have to go out the window." When they look out, they're like, "Uh-oh," and then the guy like launches that bomb up to him and blows him up.
Including all the cops that we never
I'm
see.
assuming
That
so.
just knock on the door
I'm
and just
assuming
magically
so.
disappear.
Yeah.
Bruce
And Helena
somehow
magically
survived.
disappears also.
I was sad that the hyena
No, man,
was gone
go
for the rest of
animals,
the
man.
movie.
I'm happy that Bruce survived.
No, I'm
but
sad.
seriously, those humans, they just disappear. Like, all of them. You laugh. You're like, yeah, this is your favorite, awesome movie.
Did you
Explain this
see
to
that-
me,
did you see
please.
that- Did you see that video, the super viral video from the last day or two, where the guy's skateboarding and he hits it's like
the
a
hose,
it's like
and
a
it
hose
looks
or
like
something.
yeah, he
and
just
he just fucking disappears. That's what happened to your
Why
cops.
are you laughing?
This is funny. That's
is
what happened to your cops. He just fucking disappeared.
They just didn't want to CGI Bruce in for the rest of the movie.
Yeah.
They're like, nah, we don't let no.
They clipped the cops off screen and they just disappeared and they just kept moving. So, Tyler says Birds of Prey is great. I love that it had the same feel as the cartoon show on DCU right now.
I love the cartoon.
Next, they need to bring in Poison Ivy
And
in the
King
third
Shark.
Harley movie. I agree. I would love.
And King Shark with the glasses on a computer,
Poison
trying to
Ivy
type.
is my favorite part of the animated series, and if they brought her just straight in that same fashion to a Harley movie,
Yes,
Do
please.
do a Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy movie.
yes.
Do you look? You know how I'm unsettled on this movie. If this was actually a Gotham Sirens movie, and I think they just probably couldn't get to have Poison Ivy and some of the other characters, I think I would have loved this movie a whole lot more.
I could see them not wanting to put Catwoman in, but no reason they can't use Poison Ivy. Poison Ivy's not a character they care about. Catwoman makes sense if they want to do something different with her, but Poison Ivy, they can do whatever. That's not.
I would have loved seeing Poison Ivy in this one. I would have
But
loved
the
it.
funny thing is the diamond theft screams Catwoman.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
The
that
whole
plans.
diamond theft just screams Catwoman in this.
Yeah.
Jake says, I loved it. However, I think the R rating is what's hurting it. Harley Quinn has been marketed towards a younger female audience, so I'm not sure how many parents are willing to take their daughters to see this movie. Also, that forced stripping scene was rough to watch. Yeah, I mean, but that's,
It was,
that's
especially
the point.
with, I mean, I watch it with kids next to me. I'm like, this is getting interesting.
Yeah, it doesn't go...
That's the only time I actually thought that. All the F words, all the violence, I'm like, they're fine.
Yeah.
That was the only time I'm like, I'm
It
not
doesn't
sure.
go as far as an R-rated movie could, right? It definitely stops.
Yeah.
But but he's a villain. It's uncomfortable.
But also, that's the only time I thought he was actually a bad guy.
From the geeky
Versus a Joel Schumacher fucking villain.
is a great question from the Geeky Texan on Twitter.
Geeky Texan.
He says, as I argued with a random stranger about this film,
A normal.
Because that's the best.
I was
normal.
told that it was a flop because it was marketed as a feminist movie and that it wasn't aimed at true comic book fans.
What? It is-
Not my feelings whatsoever, but I was wondering what the gang's opinion was. Well, as 6 guys,
Yeah.
and most of the replies on my Twitter account are from men
Yeah.
who have, for the most part, liked it, except for Scott's sock puppet account.
That doesn't know shit. by the way.
Well, I guess I like it.
Clearly, feminist movie or not, whatever your take on that is, it's also could be just a movie. I mean,
I'm all, I'm all for this girl power team up movie.
Yeah.
Fuck it. What's wrong is
nothing.
guys want to see girls.
There's a weird.
I didn't catch any of that.
Yeah,
in this.
I'm-
I was
I'm-
just bombarded by the awfulness of the rest of the movie.
There's a weird. There's a weird argument that went around on Twitter like right before the movie opened that
One weird argument.
that that they made the characters as unsexy as possible in this movie and covered them up. And I'm like,
Huh?
okay.
Why is that even a topic?
Well, because men are stupid, right? Some
dumbasses.
nerds on the internet are stupid. Let me rephrase
Well, they're
that.
lonely too. They should just go watch porn.
Now, I'm not watching this movie to, look, if that's what you need in your movie, there's a couple websites out there that I'm sure if you typed in
They
Harley
also
Quinn,
have costumes.
you would find all sorts of movies that would be perfect for you to watch.
Brock knows, obviously.
Maybe.
That said,
Don't judge me.
Black Canary was nearly popping out of her top through half that movie.
Yeah, I was like, huh?
Every costume that Harley Quinn wore was super sexy.
Black Canary had like the tightest pants you've ever seen
I know.
on the fucking earth.
And they even said like, "Ooh, I like how you fight in those tight pants."
Yeah.
Right? I think Huntress even says that. I mean, if you're into leather, Huntress is all leathered up in this movie. There is no
She is?
she's very vinily leathered up, right? Like these are all very. They are real clothes. They're not. It's not porn. It's not slutty. But like these are very sexy costumes across the board.
Send that to me, Scott.
So like, I just don't see how anyone thinks, "Oh, this movie's."
Covered up?
Yeah, like you're out of your mind.
You know what it was? You know what the tipping point of the movie was?
What's that?
It was the hair tie exchange during the fight.
Why?
scene.
No, I actually like that.
It's fun. Yeah.
Yeah, what's wrong with
people
that?
point to the
There's nothing wrong
scene.
with it.
People point to the
That's
scene
awesome.
where Harley Quinn's like in her pajamas, like pouring cheese whiz into her mouth.
That's the one. That's the one little figure I bought because I was like that.
I saw a couple comments that were like, "That is the sexiest thing I could ever see," which I thought was pretty
I'm
funny.
thoroughly confused right now.
So those people are
Cheese whiz or the
Geek
sexy part?
Texan. My reply is
I
those
would-
people are stupid.
I would bet, here's a man's guess. I would bet, were this movie not written by, directed by, and produced by women,
Yeah.
that stripping scene in the club with Black Mask would have gone
Would go
significantly further,
Yeah.
with an
Yeah,
R
yeah.
rating.
Well, that's what I said before. There is a difference between wearing clothes that make you attractive and wearing slutty clothes, right? Harley Quinn was wearing slutty clothes in Suicide Squad, right? She's wearing sexy clothes in this. There is a difference, right? And that is something that maybe...
Well, she's wearing she's wearing a well-rounded outfit in this. It's like,
Yeah.
like she would wear this, or she would wear this, or she would wear this.
Yeah.
And the thing is it's representative of her chaotic style of
sl-
what's going on.
Slutty is fine in moderation and in places. But I'm not a prude, but I'm also not like I need chicks naked in every movie ever. Like, no, that's boring and dumb. Like, that's not like I don't want Black Canary to look like that. I don't want Huntress to look like that. They can be sexual, they can be attractive, but
Well, it's Suicide Squad. Harley had 3 outfits. She had the gold dress that she wore in the club, basically the prison jumpsuit thing.
yeah, but that's not.
But that was
But her normal outfit.
and then her
Yeah,
normal.
yeah.
Let's fucking move on. This is
You're
stupid.
forgetting the flashback where she was in the classic outfit.
Classic costume. Yeah.
Final two. Verum Libertas says, I didn't think I was going to like it, but I really did. Will it make enough money to get a sequel? That's the big question.
I actually hope so.
Yeah,
I actually hope so. And I actually hope for 2 sequels. A Birds of Prey and a Harley
You know what the
sequel.
worst
Yeah?
part is?
What's that?
I would probably go see it.
Yeah, of course you would. And final
And
final
hate it.
You're a
comment
comic book
Margaret
fan.
Robbie.
from Yasser. He says, just like Black Widow, it's a movie no one asked for, but I'm glad it exists. It's a fun, high-energy movie that never leaves you bored. It's easy to shit on the DCEU right now, so most people write off the movie, but...
Those guys are dumbasses. But I agree on this one.
I almost
No,
fell
he's-
asleep in this.
No, I did. I actually, this movie, like, you know, when we watch superhero movies, there's a sense of we know what's coming.
And he says, Ewan McGregor is fantastic as Black Mask, and that's the end. No, go ahead. Go. Continue.
I did. Well, I actually enjoyed that. First of all, it's out of order, and I also enjoyed.
I like that.
I also enjoyed that I actually had no idea what's coming next. In a way, like sure, you know, Black Mask wants the fucking diamond, and yeah, Cassie has, and somehow they're gonna wrap it all up. But I liked how all these independent stories got together. Again, Quentin Tarantino style. They all had their separate woven-in stories.
Yeah.
And I actually enjoyed not necessarily having a clue what's coming up next.
Yeah.
Which, in a lot of other comic book movies, they're like, oh, okay, she's going to train, she's going to beat, and then she's going to train harder, and then she's going to win at the end. And, so, you know, I'm really, like, glad that this is different, and I enjoyed a little side story in Gotham versus world-ending movie, which I've been wanting for so long. So.
And how many times have people said this? They're like, we're sick of the giant cloud in the sky, you know, like...
It's fucking squid.
Well, that's a little different. I think if you have skipped on seeing Birds of Prey, I highly recommend it. Even Scott, who is not up on the movie, still recommends you go see it. I love my comic book movies. Any final thoughts?
So Fast and Furious next day?
Before we go
comic
on to
movies?
Scott's... Scott caught up on Crisis on Infinite
Mini
Earths
rant.
and wants to talk.
Go ahead. Take his.
He wants to say something.
Some hot current news coming up.
It's not hot.
And Kevin, we are 4 minutes short of the runtime
Oh, what run?
of the movie.
Were you over or were you
hasn't,
under?
He hasn't done the outro yet.
No, I was saying that there's no way this episode would go the length of the movie.
No.
There
absolutely.
wasn't
So
enough
you
to...
won double. Did you
was
triple down like the guy in Uncut Gems?
Runtime's 145. We're at 141 right now.
Oh, you're going to lose. Sorry.
Well, I
Because
don't
he
know.
hasn't-
Are we counting? Because if we stop here, I win.
Fair enough.
I'm done with Harley Quinn
Yeah.
talk.
So this is like a bonus segment now on Crisis.
Well, did you count the outro? Because the outro I can make you go for 45 minutes there.
So let's
Are
preface.
there spoilers?
There's Crisis spoilers, but this
Okay.
They're like
Crisis was
5
how
weeks
long
old.
ago?
Like
A month?
beginning of like in middle of January.
Right. middle of
Wait, are
January.
you the guy that's complaining about not being able to watch it? That you can't figure out which apps, and is that you or is that
You know
Bryce?
That's him.
Look,
That's
That was him.
That's him.
I will tell
That's
you
this guy.
Yeah.
that
You go to the CW app and there's a giant banner for Crisis, and you just
Shush.
click on that and plays all the episodes.
shush.
Huh?
Did you link it?
Is that exactly how you watched
Our
it?
friend Marshall made this happen for me.
Oh, come on!
Our friend Marshall made it happen for me.
Your friend
so
Marshall
I sat
borrowed
down.
from the internet.
We gave it back.
Okay, fair enough.
It was Canadian internet. too.
Oh, okay. Did you wait? You sat down together with Marshall?
No. I sat down with a flash drive of information
Yeah.
that he told me right after that you're going to have to give it away. And so I have to
okay.
give it back
Okay.
to the internet.
Yes.
Let's start by saying that I have not watched. I was vigilant in all of my CW DC show watching for a good 4 years.
Yeah.
I championed it
So you've
and
seen about
I
half?
loved it. Saw about half, and then I went cold turkey just randomly. And then I came back and I watched Crisis.
Cool.
Now I will say, I'm gonna give you the positives up front. If you are a comic book geek, like, look, everybody that's listening to this probably is at least
Or just
partial geek.
really
Correct.
confused at what's playing in there.
Right. Like, why are you playing this podcast if you're not a
That'd be
little bit
interesting.
of a geek?
That'd be interesting.
Number one,
Is there any normals listening? That'd be funny as hell.
my buddy Jeff, he gives me some inputs every now and then. I share with you from the normal side.
What
they think.
input? Like less swearing?
No. He talks to me about the movies,
Uh-huh.
and I tell him it's garbage or it's good.
Oh, okay.
Usually it's good because, again, I'm the Charlie West of movie going, except for Birds of Prey. But I've come to the conclusion that the acting is terrible, the music is terrible,
Music?
Yes. Listen to, next time you're watching one of these shows, listen to the music in the background, and you don't notice it because you spend 5 hours a week. It's how many episodes? 23 in a season times 5 times an hour.
Are you saying we're numb to it?
Yes, you completely oblivious to it until you take yourself out and then put yourself right back in. And I'm like, oh my God, this is trash.
I think it was the Bebo thing that probably.
it is a very good.
Bebo
Wait,
for
wait.
life.
Bebo for
I
life.
thought you were starting with the positives.
I did. I gave
Oh, I
them all.
missed it. Okay.
I'm thinking about.
We missed them, apparently.
That is the positive.
Positive is that you're a geek and all of these people are on screen.
Okay, yes.
That's it. That's it. And but again, if you're spending over 100 hours committed to it, I think you're jaded to bad acting, bad music, bad set design. I mean, yes, I don't care about the special effects because it's sure whatever. They're not going to be good.
Oh, they're on par as a Marvel movie per Ryan Higgins, especially in Flash season 1.
God.
Did I say that?
Oh, yeah, something in that matter.
John Wesley Shipp's outfit when he comes out of the
Oh, no. Don't diss the fucking ships. Don't diss the ships. Don't you dare fucking diss the ships.
It was
The ships is the best.
a fuzzy costume.
No, it is the fuzzy costume
That's
from
his
the
costume.
90s, you dumb fuck.
It's so great.
Yeah, you are saying it's so great. In a good way, though.
Not in a
Yes!
good way.
That was the best. That was the best.
In the way that you're like, oh, hey, that's the Flash from my childhood.
That's the cameo from that.
It's just
You're so wrong on that
jazz
one.
it up. So
No dissing the ships.
you know, the whole thing was just rough.
Okay, what did you think of the interaction between Barry and Man of Steel or BVS or
What?
Justice League Barry?
So the things that I loved Roth as Superman.
Okay.
I liked.
Yeah, he's awesome.
I liked the Flash and Flash interaction was really good, and just seeing people that would come in and out. That's what you like, but everything else is like, oh god.
It must have been that Oliver Queen is the Spectre. Was that?
No, I actually kind of look. If the show was better, I'm in. I'm in on that makes sense to me. Look, if he's the guy that ties in and he's the one that's, the spirit in the
The
heart.
Spectre does come out of nowhere in that, by the way. Like,
Yes. Out of nowhere.
And it's not
Was
in
he a
any other
Spectre?
show.
And that's some random dude.
Yeah,
comes
that
up.
character's never been in any
I
other
thought
show.
he came
I
straight out of
assumed he
Lost.
was. I thought he.
Yeah, I thought he came straight out of Lost. Yeah, he's like, I'm from another show. I'm gonna transfer my eyes into you.
He came from the hatch.
Yeah.
No, I thought Spectre was in something before.
Hey, for a couple of notes real fast before we go away too much on. I looked up Huntress, Smallville. It's Lois Lane dressed up as Huntress, so I don't think you're right on that one.
Okay.
But I saw some other stuff, so I'm still not 100% sure. Going back to the Crisis, I have
It was
all you
terrible.
awesome
I can't-
fans.
I
I mean,
can't
not
believe-
fans, friends. I
I can't
have all.
believe you liked. Did you like it?
I have my issues with it, but I also enjoyed it for what it was. But I also have normal friends. And there's one dude that I talked to, and he goes, I only watch the crossovers. I'm like, oh, man, this is going to be so awesome this time. This is going to be... Like, I hyped him up for it because with all the, set pictures
like, you're
came
excited
up,
about it,
I was
right.
super excited about it, And he watched it, and he texted me, what the fuck? This is horrible. Like, what the... Like, he texted... And then, that's the first three. Dude, this is absolute garbage. Like, it's unwatchable. And I was like, dude, this is cool. This is cool.
First episode
Yeah.
was almost unwatchable.
Yeah,
It
but
was so
I'm
bad.
gonna explain. Like, look, I like this part. I like the Flash meeting the Flash. Like, not the BVS one, but the ships one. I really, really like that. He goes, oh sure. Once I explained it, he goes, okay, that's kind of cool. And then he watches the next two a couple months later or a month later, and he once again texts me, go, what the actual fuck, right? So, I think Crisis is made for people like us specifically, and I don't think I can't show it to a normal.
But that's the exact same way with the comic. You cannot give the comic to somebody who doesn't know the comics.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough.
The Spectre was in Constantine's TV show.
Yeah, it's a different actress, right?
Yeah, but I don't know if it was a different actor.
Yeah,
or
because
not.
he says,
So-
oh, you're not the one I remember.
Oh.
So it would be like watching this would be like, and no offense to Sergio Aragonés, I think he's fantastic.
The hell? Where are you going with this?
If he drew Crisis on Infinite Earths and somebody wrote it and you were reading it and you were trying to take it all seriously, and yet it's like Gru, and you're like,
Why do you not like Bebo?
it was just not.
Why do you not like Bebo?
Beeble's amazing.
No, you have to know the history. Otherwise,
Yeah.
it is kind of weird. I give it that.
The show, and again, I think so. And this is what I was waiting for this to happen. First one was awful, and then it's like I almost got like sucked back into. Oh yeah, I've spent like 4 hours watching this, and this is pretty good. And then I'm like, no, it's not. It's trash. It's
Brainwash.
it is such.
You
trash.
will like this.
Again, I spend so much time watching like really high quality television programming on.
Yeah, but you can't compare this to the HBO shit. You can't compare this to the people that developed the show for like years writing and then
I know.
No, you can't compare. Look, these guys have limited budget. They had to like put the shit together as fast as they could, right? You have to know that they had limitations. Look, you asked me what my opinion is. No, Scott. You asked me what my opinion is. I wanted more.
10.
No, I can't grade it like that.
You have to.
No, I can't because I love the.
I'm gonna flick your ear.
No.
if you don't.
Well, you got two nose holes. You got two nose holes and multiple teeth. No, look.
You got at least 4.
Yeah. There might be less later. No, look, I enjoy it for what it was, and I wish there was more to it. I wish with all the awesome cameos, they could have done more.
The cameos are what you're looking for. You're looking for the cameos and kind of geek out.
Look, realistically, it's not
over the
gonna
Flash's fuzzy costume.
Dude, fuck you! I count one less too.
What are the people? What are the people that
Dude,
wear the
that was
furry
so awesome though. 30 years later,
he's a furry.
Oh, I have furry stories for you later. But 30 years later, you wrap up a Flash storyline that never got finished in the 80s.
So good, right?
That was awesome. Yeah. See, you just said it was so good.
That was cool.
Yeah.
He does wear a furry costume as long as you can accept
fuzzy. It's
that
not furry. It's fuzzy. It's fuzzy. It's like a pop.
Looks like
it's one of those
velvet.
pops. No, it's like
he's
one of those
gathered a
fuzzy
lot of
pops,
lint
man.
in the Speed Force.
Looks
Scott,
like he's got a giant red cat.
I can have an episode of I don't know, I'll say Breaking Bad and judge it on a scale of 1 to 10, and I can have an episode of Crisis and judge it on a scale of 1 to 10. They're not the same scale though, right?
No, the Breaking Bad scale is normal, and the other scale is like 10 levels below that.
You have to accept them for what they are.
Okay,
right?
it's like if any of you out there that have not watched Crisis, I think you can, especially if you know comic books, or if you have watched any of the old shows. But make sure that you go watch a good 3 solid weeks of Days of Our Lives.
Wait, what?
Days of Our Lives, a soap opera, which has crappy production, really quick this and that, and you'll look at it and go, this is campy and cheesy, and then you'll go to Crisis and go, it's on the same scale as a soap opera.
Yes.
It's every day.
The CW.
It's Monday through Friday, just like a...
Yeah, and guess what? Comic books are pretty much just like soap operas, too. This is always the way they have been. It's drawing from the same source. It's an ongoing thing with like, really ridiculous over-the-top plots, a lot of melodrama.
Yes, I can deal with the over-the-top plots, and I can deal with that. I can't deal with the awful music and some of the
that's
cheesiest...
so weird. I've never heard anyone
right,
complain about
because
the
you are 15... How many years has this been going?
8.
Like 12? 8 years. You're 8 years into watching 120 plus hours a week.
I tell you which TV show has bad music.
A year.
There's another universe, the Chicago universe, and that has some bad music. Let me tell you, if you go watch that show, it's some synth like, oh, the dude broke up with his girlfriend.
And I will say, watching it like uncut without the commercials, it's really difficult because you get the coming out and then the coming right back in, and you're like, that doesn't make any sense. Why did that? So if watch it with someone, you have to watch it with kind of the commercials, because if you go out and in all without a gap,
Scott, you've become very very negative.
Yeah, don't be so negative.
Yes,
and you commented that these things have made you jaded.
Nah, I actually enjoy.
No,
the music.
I'm super popular about. I'm super popular about this.
Super pumped.
Popular.
I'm usually really positive about different stuff. Like, look, I mean,
he does like some bad things. So he's
I like terrible stuff.
Yeah, he does like bad things.
I do.
So when he says he doesn't like something, it is actually must have really rubbed him the wrong way.
And look, we'll talk about Uncut Gems later.
Oh, dude, yeah. What the fuck is up with that? How do you not like that movie?
So for those of you who haven't seen it, this is what I thought. You ready?
Yeah.
And we can cut and end. After
this is bonus material. He has to do the outro still, which I'm gonna make him do for 45 minutes.
Number one,
outro's coming as soon as you're done.
Uncut Gems was
as a character study.
I did not hate a movie-going experience more than I hated that.
Well, it's similar to Joker. You're not supposed to like it.
No, I hated it.
It's supposed to make you feel icky.
There was not a single protagonist in the movie that I liked.
Yeah, absolutely.
It was played and acted brilliantly by Adam Sandler.
Oh, so good. It's my favorite Adam Sandler movie.
If you like feeling like your butt is puckering for a good 2 hours,
or if you need to take a shower afterwards,
and you're miserable and you feel cringy.
Okay. Joker? Hold on. Movie. Joker or Uncut Gems?
Going to
a Joker.
Really?
Yeah, Uncut Gems.
I actually
really
think I was more entertained by Uncut Gems than Joker.
I really didn't like Mike. I turned to my buddy when we were seeing Uncut Gems, and I looked at him and says, "I don't like a single person in this movie."
Well, that's
This
the
is
point, though.
freaking
It's
terrible.
a character study of that world. But
Again,
in the
I
Joker
don't-
movie, it's
maybe
all about
Uncut-
the Joker, right?
Yeah.
This movie is the whole world. It's that world
Yeah.
of
Are you
things.
going to correct
So,
him on the Joker part? Should be the Oscar-winning Joker.
well, fuck off, bro.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
Once again, I mean, I think
that in ways, or they're not the same movie, obviously, but
they
in
make
ways
you-
they're
they make
similar.
you feel the same.
Have you ever watched the Batman movie? What's the Christian Bale? Harsh Times.
Oh no, I haven't
Oh,
seen that.
dude, yeah. If you don't like these movies, don't watch that one either.
Yeah,
Man,
it's uneasy and uncomfortable for the entire time. But
I just thought it was
the
brutally
fact that
made.
it made me feel that way.
It's
is
the,
really
yeah.
good.
But I like that this
But
is
I
a
hated
crazy
it.
guy that pushed it to the limits and actually, spoiler for the people that haven't watched it, but wins at the end, but then gets punished the fuck out for
True
it.
story.
Yeah, is it?
Yes, it's
Holy
a true story.
fuck.
You didn't know that?
No, I did not know
Yes,
that. That's a
100%
crazy. That's
real story.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Well, I'm sure they blew it
he
up.
actually think look
He
in the
died.
movie he deserves it.
Yeah.
But it's funny that he
In real
actually
life, he
plays
gets
the
killed
odds,
too.
but he wins
Yeah.
and then gets punished for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It really happened.
All right, Parasite. Have you
that's
watched
it.
Parasite yet?
No.
Oh,
Thank
dude, you
you
have to
all.
watch Parasite, dude.
Really?
Oh, so good.
Thank you all.
So good,
for
dude. Parasite is.
He's going to just shut your
wonderful
mouth, son.
podcast.
I think he shut our podcast.
We hope you guys
Shut
all
our
I think,
mics
he's
off.
enjoyed.
gonna, I think he's going to
Time
cut us
ago.
out.
We hope you guys all enjoyed
Parasite?
Birds of Prey. If you went to see that for
The Oscar-winning movie?
I know.
Go see it,
Very
make
good.
your own opinion,
Yeah.
and hate it.
Nah, don't hate. Like, dude,
Pay for it. Have an opinion.
I actually going in. I was not excited for this movie. I was like,
We're starting the podcast.
No. Dude, seriously, going in, I was like, this is obviously not going to be my Birds of Prey, which is fine, and parts of it I enjoyed. So go watch the movie. Don't have any outside forces like influence you. Thank you, Scott.
There you go.
I appreciate it.
Ryan.
You're
Watch
so
Birds of
helpful.
Prey.
Ryan, tell us about the Patreon people.
I'm
Yeah.
going to thank our
Talon.
wonderful Patreon backers. It's the beginning of the month, so we have our full list of backers to read here.
Wait, hold on.
How about
Who
you
do
do
got
5?
first?
I do 5.
Who do you got first?
Yeah.
We have our good friend Joe Duff.
Joe Duff.
Yeah, Joe.
Thank you for your continued support.
Duff Beer. Go
Andrew
buy it here.
Nelson Mendez at Recovery of an
Mr.
Anime Junkie
Mendez.
podcast.
He's doing the next James Bond movie.
Craig Anderson at CraigPAnderson.com.
Craig, where are you, Craig? You said you were coming,
he's
and we
flying.
were going to argue about
Well,
this.
he needed like some
he needed
Patreon
to
money
sa-
for that. Yeah.
What did he need to sell?
No, he needed to sell his Frank Cho cover.
Ah, that's right.
Yeah,
Sorry.
that he bought
I'm
when he's
glad
a
you
little
st-
too drunk. Yeah.
I'm glad you still have your Frank
yeah,
Cho cover.
dude, you
and
got to keep
your
that
opinion's
shit, man. That
probably
shit is
wrong.
pretty good stuff, man.
He's a
You
real
got to keep
nerd.
that.
He's a real nerd that loves Crisis. Jimmy Rivera at the Social Forum
did.
podcast. That's the Social Forum, FOURUM.buzzsprout.com. And James Laws, thank you for your continued support to our top tier backers,
Is he
as
a
well
Lazer?
as all of our $5 backers.
We got more.
At patreon.com/comic conspiracy. If
Ooh,
you'd like to kick us
bring it
a couple
on.
bucks for this podcast to help support, pays for hosting, gives these guys some money here for helping me do the podcast.
When Ryan divides it up.
I do. I
Got
do
a little
every
water
month.
right there.
I do every
Yeah.
month.
I go grab a water in the back
Water?
every now and then.
Yeah,
Thanks,
yeah,
Ryan.
yeah, of
Thanks,
course.
Patreon.
Dennis Jansen, Edgar Moreno, David Safar, Christopher
Red Hat
Noyes.
Man.
That is. Christopher Noyes, Ivan
Congratulations.
Leskanic.
Hey, Chris has a kiddo. Congrats.
Chris Noyes, he does. He
Yeah.
sure did.
All this stuff.
Mark Long.
I stalk people on the internet.
Father Dante, Aaron Wright, Chris Palaki, Paula Schultz, Brian Morowski, Don Kilson, Tim from Virginia Beach. That's his name.
Thanks,
from Virginia
Tim.
Beach. Andrew Cuscieri, Miles Gakula, David Baroldi, Chris Bunch, Alex McHale, List of the Living Dead, Chris Lockhart.
Wait, we have a guy named List of the Living Dead.
I've literally read this name every single month
No.
for the
What?
entire Patreon.
List of the Dead?
Living Dead?
Yeah.
Does he have a list?
We picked him up
I
a few
don't
years
know.
ago.
Chris Lockhart.
Tell us about the list.
Wait, is that his
Somewhere.
real legal name?
I'm assuming no. That is
Oh.
his Patreon.
No
name.
Ocho Cinco here?
Enerban Banerjee, Jack Ildefonso,
You watch any
PJ Ryder,
XFL?
No, not yet.
Joe
Oh, is he
Castorino
playing
over
it?
Identity Stunt, Bryce Larson Quotes,
Bryce Larson quotes.
Agreed with me about the movie.
Joseph Rodriguez, Robert Lane, Mason Barber, Ames Foster, Stephen Sepia, Brian Wyckoff, just another Chris. A lot of Chris's on here.
like
Tim
Chris.
Martin, Tyler Willits, Christopher Haith, Mulvey.
Mulvey. What's up, Mulvey?
so change their name.
Mulvey.
Zach Johnson, Joe Frazier, this man,
Joe Frazier.
This man. I want to talk to this man.
this man, this Pete.
Oh, this man is Pete. Pete, what's up?
Verum Libertas, Litwin Studio.
How do you say it?
Verum
Libertas. Vermum.
These are obviously, some of these are handles.
Vernum?
Some of these are internet nicknames.
Oh, fucking
Twitter
internet.
handles?
Litwin
Why do we
Studios.
have the internet?
Andrew Nikovich, Wally Ansari, and Timothy O'Brien.
Whoa.
Thank
Wally
you
from
all.
Pixar is supporting us?
Thank
Hell
you
yeah.
all very much for your
Yeah, he's a beep,
support.
beep, boop, 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 beep. Yeah.
Patreon.com/Comic Conspiracy. Of course, you can always go to comicconspiracypodcast.com, geekbox.net, and Apple Podcasts to find all our previous episodes. Rating and reviewing us always
doing
helps.
an email today?
No email.
We should.
YouTube.com/Comics Conspiracy.
YouTube
Comics
channel
with an
where you
S.
just answer an email.
That is where you can find all
Hey,
our
Ryan.
videos. We have our audio versions
Ryan.
of this podcast is on YouTube.
Hey,
so
Ryan.
if you like YouTube, you can listen to it there.
Hey, Ryan.
Of course, if you would like to go to
Hey,
the Comic
Ryan.
Conspiracy
Hey, Ryan.
Ryan,
Geekbox.net.
Toby's got something for you.
Send that email
I'm raising
over.
my hand if you don't
Send
see
that
it, by the
email
way.
over. Hold on, we're almost done.
No.
Comics Conspiracy
No, I have to,
Biz
something to
Also,
announce.
listen to us on Spotify.
is where, yeah, that's fine.
I'm taking a break.
Conspiracy.biz.
I'm going away, Ryan.
We'll talk about that in a second. Hold
Okay,
on.
but I think you're gonna just shut off my mic. I know how this works. You're gonna stop talking. You're gonna shut off my
on
mic.
to
I
you.
am done.
He's so on to you.
I know you.
You can talk as much as you want.
Yeah,
Comics
because you
Conspiracy.
gotta shut off my mic. Because you shut off my mic.
Comicsconspiracy.biz is where you can buy all your physical comic books. We will happily mail them to you. You can do whatever you want.
Kevin's back.
Hey, Kevin, are we at 45 minutes?
Still going.
SpiritorBrock.com.
It's a game. Don't you understand, Kevin? It's a game.
Blog, video pull list, and unboxing videos. Wanderers of the
No,
Fourth
but
Dimension
what's that?
podcast.
Where's
That
that
is
hand?
Charlie's Doctor Who podcast. And do not forget
Charles still here?
LeanneHill.com.
Yeah.
That is my wife
excellent.
Leanne's website. You can go purchase her stuff on there.
She made a Harley thingy,
she
smooching
did.
a
Yeah,
hyena.
yeah.
Harley and a hyena.
Yep, and everything
Joe
except for the
Duff.
Baby Yoda
Dude,
prints
I
are
was
available.
like carrying my
at
sister's dog the other day, and the
/shop
dog just like put his tongue in my face.
Leanne Hill Art. If you were
Fucking
on
dog
Twitter,
tongue.
you could follow all of us. Ryan Higgins, Ryan is myself. Brock is Brock Sager. Toby is Toby XI. Charlie's Insanity and Chaos.
He's
Scott
insane.
I'm
is-
half expecting at Tiffany Nuggets.
CS Shea.
Yeah,
Kevin
well,
is
it's
that
after
Kevin
today.
Sharp. The store is Comics Con Store. And please listen to myself on the Geek Box.
You're gonna get
Because he has he's tired of all these people using
We talked a little bit about
Tiffany Nugget.
Card episode 3 this week. We talked
Cars
about my
episode 3.
Nintendo NES. Nintendo
Oh, can we talk
published-
about Nintendo? My favorite SNES game is coming to
published
the
and developed
Super Nintendo
collection
on the fucking Switch.
And please do
Pop
not
and Twimby.
forget-
Best game
And
ever.
please do not forget our friends at Manga Machinations Podcast.
Oh, they're our friends. Hello.
Thank you all for listening. Now Toby has some words.
Oh, yeah. Did you shut off my mic? You didn't?
No,
really?
he
really?
didn't touch anything. He's walking
Dude,
away.
can we talk about Pop and Twinbee, the most colorful shooter of all time that's going to show up on the
Turned it off.
He did turn it off.
No, he didn't. It's still
He did-
recording.
Really?
Yes, it's still
Sweet.
recording.
Hey, Kevin. Can we talk about Uncut Gems?
Loved it. Loved it. I loved it because I think I heard some of what you were saying. I was completely uncomfortable for
You were
the
icky.
entire
The
time.
entire
I could
time.
imagine you watching this movie and you probably move around uncomfortably.
No, but you know what?
Just
I
hated it.
appreciate that I
just-
felt
have
something.
I just have like
You can't passively
Yeah.
watch it.
Yeah. No,
I
no.
appreciate that it
Yes.
got in and stirred.
So that's what I tell everybody. I said it was the worst movie-going experience that I've ever had, and it's fabulously acted.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. Favorite Adam Sandler movie. All right, I'm a little like weirded out that I succeeded in staying on the podcast because usually Ryan just kicks me the fuck off, but. I'm gonna be off for a couple of weeks at
His
least.
mic's
I
gone.
actually thought I was gonna be. No. I see the blinky lights over there. Yeah. No. I'm
Where are you
going.
going?
I'm going away for a couple of weeks. I have to go away, and I thought I was gonna be going away longer. It may be a little shorter now, but we shall see.
Where are you going?
Somewhere. I have to go away. It's a secret.
Why?
I don't know. It's more fun that way because it frustrates Ryan. I could tell.
I don't. Oh, so you haven't told Ryan where you're
Yeah.
going?
No, I'm thoroughly enjoying this.
So you brought it up
yes.
That's a bitch move.
Yeah, because it annoys him. Do you know how many bitch moves he does to me?
None.
Like, he sold me
Ryan
Flash
is just-
Omnibus 1 and 2, and then doesn't tell me that he's about to sell numbers 3 and he can't get it back in. That's a bitch move. That's a bitch move right
This
there.
is way worse.
No, that's
This
way
is
worse.
way worse.
That's way worse. I have to
no.
rebuy the Flash Omnibuses
No.
because of this bitch
I am
move.
going to come to Ryan's defense on this one.
How? Oh, Ryan is coming back to the podcast. Oh.
I'm just packing up.
Damn it! Why are you teasing me so much today, Ryan Higgins?
You said you had something to talk about.
That's it.
That's it. He's
That's
leaving.
it. Ladies and gentlemen, we're wrapping up. He's about to unplug me.
Bye-bye.
Bye.